Hello, it's time to play some Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Now I'm playing it on via a method that is an old method of playing it online, and I was actually amazed it's kind of still supported. I mean, it is totally still supported. Because these days you can play it through the game's website in a graphical mode with sort of tiles, graphical tiles for all the little creatures and everything are little sprites, and they don't really animate or anything. But people seem to like that, and that's what has kind of seems to have become popular. But you can still play via the SSH protocol, a command line protocol. I'm using the PuTTY client to do that. PuTTY's a free SSH and Telnet client you can get off the internet for free. So let's do that. I've set up PuTTY to auto log in to the Crawl North American server, the one in Arizona, I think, crawl.acraziac.org, as you can see there. And this is the menu that comes up once you've logged into the server. The login for the server is public. It's just Joshua, login Joshua, password Joshua. So once you have done that, you get to this menu. Well, once you've done that, and then you have logged in. Oh no, I haven't logged in with my character. So you can watch games without logging in. You can just spectate. Now there is a difference about spectating in this through SSH, which is what we're doing here, versus spectating on the website in what's called the WebTiles mode in your web browser. The difference has to do with communication. You can see on the right-hand column there, it says viewers, and it says 0. Oh no, it does have one. Okay, I have to check this out actually. Poopy Poo Poo has a viewer in their game. Now, the reason I'm surprised by this is because... Oh, wow. Is that how they're running, or is that just how... Because this is like the default... I think it probably means they're... Well, see, they have a spectator. They're probably... I mean, they're almost certainly playing in WebTiles. The player is almost certainly playing the WebTiles version, but they have a spectator who is spectating via SSH. And the reason I know that is because players who are spectating via WebTiles do not show up. That's why all those other games had 0 spectators, because they're almost... If you went to WebTiles and looked at the list, in fact, why don't we do that? Can I do that? I think I can do that. Crawl.acraziac.org lobby. So here's the WebTiles list of the games. Here's the Poopy Poo Poo game. But you see that doesn't list a spectator, whereas we know it has 2. It has the one who I saw and then me. But this one lists none. Whereas you see these other games do have some, whereas I saw them all saying they had 0 spectators. And the reason for that is I don't really want to show other people's games. That seems weird on my own video, but I just wanted to show you some game, I guess. So this is with WebTiles. It's all graphical. It's got all this fancy stuff. It's a little jerky. You've got this chat window where I could type something and Poopy Poo Poo would presumably be able to see it. Okay, so that's about all I had to say about that. You can play the WebTiles version in fact, I have glyphs set, so why wasn't it giving me glyphs? So Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup is kind of weird. It does not have any option menus in game. If you want to tweak things, if you want to be a cool pro user and tweak any of the settings, you have to do it through this arcane.rc file. It's just a text file, and you have to... There's a text file that comes with the game that explains the options, but they're just these text things that you have to look up. So I have mine. So tile underscore display underscore gifs or underscore mode is an option that lets you pick WebTiles, which is the default, or glyphs, which is ASCII basically, or hybrid, which is a sort of gross combination. So that should be working. I should be able to. Yes. This is my secondary account that I made just for basically demonstrating this stuff. So here I am, and this is the ASCII mode in WebTiles. So you can kind of see what this looks like. I have a jerk on me. You can change the font, but to change the font, you're basically looking at going to your browser settings, font settings, and changing the default monospace font to whatever. I tend to like Consoles, but that means change it, and that'll change, for any site that, did it change it? I guess it changed it. Consoles is, I think, the default for Windows 10 terminal windows. And so this is playing online. You can, like, if I move back and forth here, you can kind of see there's a little herky-jerkiness. This is the closest server to me, this crazyx server. I think it's in, actually, I did a trace route, and it came up as being like in Sacramento or something, even though I thought I saw something said it was Arizona. But it's the West Coast USA dungeon crawl server, basically. There's 6 servers for dungeon crawl, 6 official public servers. There's 3 in the US, this one on the West Coast, and I guess around Sacramento maybe. There's one in Columbus, Ohio, and there's one in New York City, or New York, somewhere near New York City, as far as I could tell from the trace route. So basically, West Coast, Midwest, East Coast. And those are the only ones in the Americas. There's 8 total, so 3 in the US. There's 2 in Europe, 1 in Germany, which is where the official website is located. I did a trace route to that. And 1 in France. Then there's 1 in Australia, 1 in Korea, and 1 in Japan. So, I mean, for if you're going to cover the globe, they did a fairly good job. None in Africa, unfortunately, and none in like Southwest Asia or the Middle East or anything. But you've got some coverage. I mean, the one of the sort of minor problems I had playing, for instance, Angband on Angband Live, is that the only server for Angband Live it's just one server, and it's in London. So I am not in London. I'm in Washington State, Eastern Washington, USA. So, you're talking about thousands of miles round trip for every single time you move along your little @ symbol along a dungeon. And you could tell there was a little delay for every move playing on that. I mean, I could simulate that if I logged into the like the French server, probably for crawl. But anyway, yeah, there's a little jerkiness even on this closest server to me, which is not thousands of miles away, but it's still hundreds. Maybe it's close to 1,000. What's the distance from Seattle or from Eastern Washington to Sacramento? I don't know. So anyway, but I am not playing on, and I was prepared to play this way. I mean, it's fine. It's fairly smooth. It's certainly smoother than playing Angband Live for me. Probably just because of the proximity to the server. But then I found out about this SSH command line method of playing, which was the only way to play on servers for a while, I think. This WebTiles mode is a later innovation, and that's pretty much the way everybody plays, which is why I was so shocked there was an actual spectator playing or spectating this game. I wonder if they're still here. But you see, you can't tell. So the difference is Um, the difference is in this game you have this chat window, and you can see spectators. They're listed by names, as we saw when I popped into that other game. They're and when somebody types anything, when you or a spectator types something in chat, everybody can just see it come up like this. If you don't want to see any of this, you can close it. I was going to do that if I was playing on this for recording. I was just going to close it like that. Because who knows, somebody could come in and say horrible things. I don't know. That's probably not going to happen, but I'm paranoid. In oh yeah, this is the well. So you see how the shadowed the dark parts of the dungeon here are blue. That is actually that's just my colors. Well, I'll get into the colors later. It's interesting. I'm still spectating somebody else's game, aren't I? I didn't really want to be recording that kind of thing. But well, the difference, so there's no chat window in this SSH version. You see no chat window. In fact, the only way to communicate is, let's see, what was it? I can hit question mark as I'm spectating. That'll show me a special window of the spectator commands. And in SSH, all you can do to communicate is this send mail to player. Now, I'm not logged in, actually, so I couldn't do that. What happens if I hit M when I'm not logged in? Maybe I am logged in? Oh, no, it wants me to log in. I'm not going to do that right now. But all that you can type out a single line of text up to like 76 characters, and then you hit send, and then it's like message scroll sent, it says, or something. You're like, oh, okay. And you don't see it come up on the screen of the game you're spectating or anything. So I was like, what the heck? Where does that go? Well, if the player is playing in WebTiles, which pretty much everybody is these days, as far as I can tell, they will not see that message at all. There is no way for them to see that message. I think, isn't that how it worked? Oh no, I guess they could. Let's see. Okay, let me go spectate my own game here. Oops. I'm going to log in with my main account. I'm going to watch the game. I should see my smbhax game is game R, so hit R. Whoa, well, that caught up with some lag. Why are my settings? Oh, it's because it's when you spectate, you're observing the host settings. So I can now hit M. Hey, I can't type. Anyway, hey man, I don't know what I'm typing. I can't type. Hey man, it's me. What up? 78 characters or less. Scroll delivered. Okay. That was again, weird burst of lag. But notice that no message comes up on this screen as far as we can tell from spectating, and I don't see anything here. Here I am in WebTiles. I don't see anything I just scaled my view, that somebody just sent me. And notice this, I cannot see any spectator here. I am in this game as a spectator, as my other account, as smbhax. I am in smbhax's game, spectating, but I am not, he is not seeing me. And there's almost no crossover between these two systems of spectating, between the WebTiles spectating and the SSH spectating. They can both spectate a WebTiles game or an SSH game, but they cannot see each other. The host cannot see SSH spectators. SSH host cannot see any kind of spectators. They can only see the if I logged out of my game and went to the spectator list, I could see a number shown next to games for SSH spectators, but that would be all I could see. Now I did send that message scroll, maybe I can see that. It comes up as a note. How do I see browse character notes, colon? No, those are my own notes. It's not going to show. I was able to see notes at one point. Maybe I have to be in SSH though as the host. I think I do. So anyway, I don't think there's any communication here. Now I could communicate here to this. If I knew I had an SSH spectator, I could communicate to them. I couldn't do it through here because they do not have this chat. When I type stuff in there, they don't have that chat window. They don't see those. But I could type a note myself. I could hit, what is my command for colon? Or for note? Okay, so it's colon. Then, hey, dude, why you on that old SSH Junko? Yeah, with an H. And that note is really supposed to just be for my log. Oops. You can leave notes for yourself, basically. But because that shows up in my message output, it shows up in the message output on the spectator screen too, so they could see that. So that would be sort of a way you could talk back to the spectator as the host, back to an SSH spectator. But you're not going to see what they say if you're playing through WebTiles. Let's get out of here and go to set my font back. By the way, oops. Oh, did the host quit? Oh no. Q. So now I'm confused. Okay, so this is smbhax account here. Now if I log in a second terminal window via SSH, and I log in as smbhax with my other account. Okay, now let me host my game. Okay, there it is, S. So here I am hosting on via SSH now with my secondary account. Here I am spectating that SSH game with my SSH spectator. So now let me try sending that message. I know this is super fun. This is what everybody wants to know. Okay, sending by SSH this time. Please get this. Scroll delivered. Now, oh yeah, that's right. So now, the next time I take an action, like I'll step to the right. No? Oh yeah, my pager goes off. Use underscore to check your messages. So you basically have pager level message reading ability. I hit underscore. There I can see the notes. And actually I can see that other note that I sent while this guy was hosting via WebTiles. I could not see that through the WebTiles interface because I didn't have this weird pager thing. So yeah, that was the only way you could communicate back in the SSH online days in crawl. So pretty awkward that would have been, I imagine. Also, I noticed when I was testing this before that if I send multiple messages, they will only get one page. So message 1. So I take it. So if I'm just idle here, I'll never see that. I have to take a move, and then my pager goes off. Now, if I don't check that message right away, and this person sends another message, and then I go on playing here, my pager doesn't go off again. So I don't know they sent a second message because I never checked the first, and it just doesn't page you again. I guess it didn't want to annoy you. I don't know. So now I hit underscore, and it'll show me 2 messages. And because they're both short, it just jams them into a single line. So that was the old messaging system, and it's the only one that's still operable on SSH. It's pretty weird, but that's what they got. Anyhow, gonna log out my secondary account here. It's funny how this just dies. I guess I have to queue over here. Okay, so here I am. I'm on SSH. Logged into the West Coast Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup server. The options here are pretty much the same as you have if you're looking at it through WebTiles. You can play a trunk build. Trunk is basically the latest development version. It's it can include stuff as recently as a few hours that somebody programmed a few hours ago. So that's kind of cool, and you don't have to download any builds. You can download trunk builds off of the website, off the official crawl.devels.org website. If you search around a little bit, you can find the page where you can download trunk builds, although the links are HTTP instead of HTTPS, and Firefox kind of blocks them, and you have to individually approve the download in your download list for it to actually work. But it's kind of a pain, especially since there can be 2 or 3 of these trunk builds a day. So that would be a lot of downloading. But if you're playing online, you don't have to download. You're just connecting to the server, which is always up to date. So that's pretty sweet. That's one reason to play online. And there are more that I'll come to. In fact, maybe now I should show you. Oh, clicking and dragging. I should show you. I think I still have it installed. Yeah, I do. I know I do. The offline version, which I'm going for DCSS. You can download separately. You can download a Tiles graphical version offline for offline play, or you can download an ASCII terminal window version for offline play. I downloaded the terminal version, or console version as it's sometimes called. Now this will run through a Windows command line console, which is sort of similar to the console window you have when you're using a client like PuTTY or something with SSH. But this is just local. This is not online. You can see the build is listed up there. Now I downloaded that a week or so ago. What if I just go into a game here? Okay, so this is the version online right now. My save was made in 0.28-a0-925, whatever, and that's just a hash at the end. And the newest version is 0.28-a0-925. Now, I can't remember the last time I logged in with this account, but it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't more than a couple days ago. So, I'm kind of surprised that it's gone up by, from 909 to 925 builds. And for instance, this offline one I downloaded about a week ago, that's at 28A0872. So that's already over 50 builds behind, and these are like multiple daily builds a lot of the time. So I'm just going to hit yes here, transferred, save. Apparently, save game compatibility has not been broken in DCSS in like forever. And that's actually, it makes their code a little, there's a huge chunk of the code that's dedicated to being able to take a save file from versions going years back and successfully transfer it to the current version. But they do it. It's kind of amazing. Anyhow, you can basically get this offline Windows terminal build looking pretty much like the online SSH version, which is basically what I tried to do. Why is this? That sound was my phone. Sorry about that. I guess I can hit Alt-Enter. So this is what I've managed to configure in this version. I'm hitting Alt-Enter to toggle full screen. It's kind of a pain. You see, I have to run in this huge terminal window just to get it close to the screen resolution, and then you can kind of do this, and then it kind of looks okay. And the only way you can configure Windows Terminal is this menu, or, well, it's confusing because there's properties and then there's defaults, and I get those mixed up. And sometimes it feels like I made a bunch of changes and they didn't take and all this stuff. But so you can set the font size, you can set the font, and you basically have to just use those things and the number of rows and columns to try to get a picture you're comfortable with that gets close to full screen if you want it to be full screen, which I did. So it takes a lot of tweaking. You can also tweak the colors, which I did end up doing because these aren't the default Windows terminal colors. Let's see, I wonder if I can't type when I'm running a roguelike with VI keys. It just screws me up because the hand position is different. So see, now my Windows console is all screwed up. It's all this ridiculous. See, it's bigger. That's the size I wanted my other one to be. Why is that smaller? Did I anyway. These colors should be the actual defaults. Yeah, they are, because you can see that gray instead of a black background. That's the Windows default terminal colors, which you see there. And so these are the colors I had to go in and well, I didn't have to, but these colors I went and set myself. 16 colors, which is, I guess, what the Windows terminal supports. So I went and tweaked them slightly, and you can see that they're a little different. But these colors I found on a website. I think it's on the chaos, probably something like crawl.chaosforge.org or something, wiki. Has a page that purports to have a list of the quote-unquote official Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup colors with their RGB values, and specifically for it's got a list of what they are for PuTTY. So I put those into PuTTY, and then I also put them into the Windows terminal properties window, and they worked in there too. So they did seem like nicer colors, and they seem to match what you get on the WebTiles version. And I am using the Console.us font, which I think is kind of the best looking one that I've found. You can use any font. The terminal, Windows terminal, lets you pick any font that a true type. I think it has to be true. Well, it has to support like monospace or whatever the term is. So I actually have way more fonts than this on Windows. I mean, Windows comes with way more fonts than this, but they have to support the monospacing or whatever it is, and not too many fonts do that. But there's one big advantage, I think, graphically, if you can call it graphically, that the SSH version has over the Windows Terminal version. Let's put this. Well, let's do this. Put it that way, maximize it. And that is, you'll see it when we go full screen in particular. So I'm going to Alt-Enter this to go full screen. And now tab back, full screen this too. So this is the Windows Terminal version. This is the SSH version online. And you'll notice that the font here is squished horizontally. This is the Windows Terminal. This is SSH PuTTY window. So you see that the font is squished on the SSH PuTTY, and I did that on purpose. Because what that lets me do is, so here in Windows Terminal land, under Properties, it's set to 31 rows of text, basically 120 columns of text and 31 rows. So we get basically 31 row resolution here. And I could, I if I wanted more than that, if I wanted to be able to see more lines of the map of the dungeon, I would have to make the font smaller, basically, or it just wouldn't fit on the screen. And the font size I'm running is a little larger than the one in WebTiles. The one in WebTiles is a little tiny for me. I like it about this size. Now here it's the same size font, but squished vertically. Did I say horizontally earlier? Anyway, it's squished vertically, so it's shorter, but it's still just as wide. And if we go to, I'm just right-click here in PuTTY and select Change Settings. Go to Window Appearance. No, what was it? Somewhere in here. Okay, so you see I have 120 columns and 38 rows. So by squishing it to 38 rows instead of 31, if I put in 31, it would be the correct aspect ratio of the font. It would look exactly like the Windows Terminal version. But PuTTY lets you, it gives you these different resizing options, so you can stretch the window or stretch the font display to fit the screen. And so you can put in different sizes for columns and rows and have it sort of distort the display to fit your, this is a 1080p, 16 by 9 screen. And you can't do that in Windows Terminal. So you're stuck with this in Windows Terminal, which it certainly looks cleaner having the font at its correct aspect ratio. But here, I settled on 38 because if I squished in any more lines, like if I went up to 40, it would just start to make me a little nauseous as far as the squishiness of the text would go. I can't. Oh, that's because I have the property window open. For instance, if I pull up an all text screen, it's a little, but I can still tolerate this at 38 lines. So anyway, that's what I do to feel special and feel like I'm getting more resolution out of the SSH terminal display than I can get out of the offline Windows terminal display. And that makes me feel like a special boy. Also, it's a much more configurable window. I can, put it down to this size and then it's not taking up the whole screen and so forth. So, I guess one more, the important thing to show you would be, you remember how when I was hosting on WebTiles, this is going to be interesting. I'll explain this later, but there's extensive auto navigation features in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Have to go through dungeon level 6. Continue. Yes. Y for yes. Is it going to do it? Is it going to go all the way? Can I just hit enter? No. Oh, it did it. It already did it. I'm here. Sweet. Yeah, the auto navigation in this game is insane. So I just went through a different floor of the dungeon to get back to here because these two sections don't have a connection. But the game just did it for me. I told it what to do and it did it. That's fantastic. You could say that it makes it too easy, and a game like Angband has like no auto navigation. Well, no, it's got a little. You can run down a twisty hallway. You can tell it to run down a twisty hallway, and it'll kind of do it. But you couldn't do anything like that, like I just did. And that's like one of the simpler things you can do with the auto navigation. what was I talking about? Oh, so just the lag. So this is me. I'm playing online. I am playing on the West Coast Sacramento server from Eastern Washington. And here I am running back and forth. If there was lag, you would see a little hitching, but there isn't. It's quite smooth. It basically feels most of the time. It feels like I am playing offline. Like here I am in Windows Terminal, just about as smooth. In fact, there's a sort of weird artifacting as you scroll in a Windows Terminal window text display that is kind of grosser than PuTTY's display. PuTTY keeps up a little better. You see in the Windows Terminal the like top rows of the window are sort of leaning one way. It's kind of weird. In PuTTY, it's a little more together. And this is online. This is offline. So that's pretty amazing. In WebTiles, you remember when I was just doing this, there was noticeable hitching. So the SSH version is for me anyway, connecting to the West Coast Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup server. The SSH protocol mode online play is way less laggy than the WebTiles, which is the one everybody plays now. Everybody's playing WebTiles because that's the fancy one. It's got a chat window. It's got the option for graphics. But this is super smooth. SSH is amazing. So this is how I'm going to play. So the advantage of online, well, you get all the latest builds. You don't have to download anything. You keep up automatically with the latest stuff. People can watch your game. I will have no idea that anybody is watching, but people can watch it. And you know, it saved my character for me online and all this stuff. I could log in and play from anywhere with the same game, and it's super smooth. So I think this is really sweet. It's pretty amazing to me. It's amazing to me that they still support this method, but they're still. I mean, after all these years of WebTiles being the dominant method of playing the game, and that's made their game pretty darn popular for a roguelike, for a traditional style roguelike. I mean, in terms of player numbers, I've seen like up to 50 players, you know, just in the past week or so. One day there were 50 at a certain time of day. There were 50 players on the one West Coast U.S. server, or 50 games, not even 50 players, 50 games going on the U.S. server, and that's just one of 8 servers worldwide. So it seems like pretty good numbers to me. You know, this is a free open source game. Anybody can download it and play it. And it's pretty old school in a lot of ways. Oh, see, there was a little hitch of lag. So then you're reminded, oh yeah, I am online. But as long as that doesn't happen a lot, it's pretty sweet. Okay, so I think that's all of that nonsense I wanted to inflict on you. Let's log out of my local version here. Close that down. Might as well close my browser. Close this thing. Ugh, I can't type with VI keys, messing with my brain. Okay, so here we are now. Now I am in the middle of a game. I was running a bunch of test games just while I was trying to find out how I wanted to play crawl, because there are so many. I mean, the configuration is quite obtuse with you having to put commands into a text file. In fact, why don't I show you what that looks like here? I know you're groaning. You probably just came here to see me play, and I'm not playing. But this is, I mean, this stuff's important if you do want to really get into it. I guess maybe, I don't know. It's not. You could ignore all this stuff and just play, just not worry about any of this. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, I suppose. But the other beauty of it is that if you do want to mess with things, you can. So I'm gonna, if you Shift S, that'll prompt you to save and exit, and then you hit yes. If you hit Control S, I just hit Escape to get out of that. If you hit Control S, it doesn't prompt you; it just drops right out. So you see the options here in this menu. I'm not actually sure what Virus is. Oh, Virus is a text editor. It's a different default. It's a different. I don't know if this is running on Linux or something. It's a different, or Unix. It's a different text editor than you would get if you did the left-hand edit options. But so if I look at my edit options, if I hit O, that is my options file, not the stuff above the line of equal signs, but the 4 lines there. So view max width 81, view max height. That's setting the display size of what you see of the dungeon. Those are the maximum values according to the options. The instructions text file. I just did that to be able to make the map or the dungeon view as big as it'll allow me to, because it does widen it a little bit from the, if you don't have those lines in there. Allow extended colors, I put that in because if you don't have that, and if you don't have another configuration setting in your PuTTY settings or whatever you're running, that would be under where would it be? These are all these are default settings at the top there. Maybe it's I'll put in links in the description below the video of 3 pages which have helpful settings instructions, and that's basically what I followed to get set up. It's not too complicated, but it's a little complicated, and then there are optional things you might want to change. For instance, the size of the window, and so forth. You can change your font here on this setting. I changed it to consoles. You also want to check the enable compression for SSH. Apparently, that's what they tell you to do. This stuff is not anything I messed with. Shoot, maybe. Let's bring up the. You don't get all the configuration settings while you're logged in. So there's a few that I was not seeing, specifically under connection. Yeah, here it is. It's under terminal type string. You have to put in something that's like, it's xterm and then like dash 256 something or other, which adds support for extended colors. So that's something that you might want to do. You don't have to. But what it gets you is if you don't have this allow extended colors thing in your config file, and you don't have, and I think maybe you don't have to do both of them. Maybe it's one or the other. I'm not sure. I just did both to be sure. If you don't have that, then certain of the game colors come out. They're sort of left up to the terminal program you're using. So, for instance, the color for walls that are in the shadow, that is not lit up by the light source that's just sort of presumed to be around your character, the walls that are farther away, those will be, if you just came into PuTTY without messing with settings, those would be this very dark midnight blue color that would be incredibly hard to see against a black background. And it actually does that because it thinks that the terminal program thinks that the dark gray that the game is telling it to put there is too close to black. So it says, I'm not going to do dark gray, I'm going to do blue. But it actually uses a darker blue that's darker than the gray, and it's way harder to see. But if you say allow extended colors, then something about that, and I think something about that other setting that I was showing in the other settings there, that will tell it, no, you can allow these colors, it's okay. And I think it also allows support for more than 16 colors, that other setting at least. So that will get some of the colors working a bit more how the game intends them to look. You can also, though, so before I knew about this stuff, and before I found that page that has the, quote unquote official crawl terminal colors, I found that midnight blue color was so hard to read. It was messing with my eyes, and I just started messing. Because you can come in and tweak these colors. These are the 16 colors. I think it's 16. Well, these 16 ANSI colors are the ones specifically. So there's two colors for each, color around the color wheel. There's a light one and a dark one. The bold is the lighter one. And I just set those to values that, after a little experimentation, seemed a little easier to read for me. The other colors that I found among the default colors that were a little rough on my eyes were the greens. The darker green was too intense. It was a super saturated green, and the light green was, I don't remember what my beef with the light green was. It might have just been too bright or something. So I just messed with those. But then once I put in the colors that you see here are the ones that I got from the wiki, and supposedly they're the official RGB values for the terminal values for the game. I don't know. It seems true. It seems like they match the ones I see in WebTiles. So yeah, that's what that line. That's kind of what this line is about. The other thing I put in here: use animations. This is just turning off red flashes that occur in certain situations, because I have mild photosensitivity, and red flashes are not something that my eyes are always happy to see. I forget what the range one is. Oh, that's something about range of spells. Like you can, there's a thing, like if you try to cast a spell and no monster is in the target range of the spell, it'll flash the complete range of the spell on screen so that you can kind of see what the range is and that there's no monsters in it. But I don't want to see that kind of flash, so I just said don't do that. That's what range does. HP is that when you get your low hit point warning, that comes across as a red, like I think it's all caps with a line of equal signs or something in the message scroll at the bottom of the screen, but it also flashes the entire screen a red color for a moment, just a single flash. But I don't, that kind of messes with me as well, so HP turns that flash off. Monster in sight is, it's not just when any monster comes into view. What the heck is it? Well, it's some other flash that can occur when some point when a monster shows up. I forget what that is specifically, but I figured I would turn those off. So those are my 4 configuration lines. That's all the options that I have set as far as the game is concerned. All the other stuff I was setting was PuTTY settings. And it was mainly a lot of experimentation to find the columns and row size that I liked, and that kind of stuff. And then the colors, messing with the colors. So, and that was simplified once I found the official list of colors, and I just went with those and just set it and forget it. Okay, so play crawl is P. Let's play crawl. And can get rid of this. Welcome back, smbhax, the Minotaur Fighter. Alt enter to full screen this baby. No, why? Because I can't hit the right button. Okay, so I'm not starting a new character right now because I'm actually kind of happy with how this just one I was messing with when I was testing stuff is working out. I did have a hard time getting past about dungeon level 4, because on dungeon levels, in fact, why don't we go, well, there won't be much point. No, there won't. On dungeon levels 1 and 2, so when people who know crawl, when they see that my character is a Minotaur Fighter, I pull up this is percentage sign to pull up some of the info about my character. Minotaur Fighter you see there, and the abbreviation for that is MI, capital M, lowercase I for Minotaur, and capital F, lowercase I for Fighter. And you'll see that on the game list on WebTiles, for instance. It'll tell you what, it'll give you those abbreviations for race and class of the person's character who's running the game that you see in the game list. If they saw I was playing a MiFi, they would probably just not be. They'd just be like, "Oh, that guy's a total noob," and I am. So that's correct. Because Minotaur Fighter is just known as like the easy mode, the dumb smash things mode. And it is, and I like that. But I'll show, there is one specifically cool thing that the Minotaur Fighter does that makes him so strong in melee combat, and it also makes it really fun, I think. But I've found that I don't have much interest in playing spellcasters in these games. There's just a lot more button pressing and a lot more management of things involved, and you have to backpedal a lot and think about stuff. That's not why I want to play these games. I want to just come in and smash things. Now, maybe when I actually get good, which is probably going to be never, and get too good at smashing things brainlessly, supposedly, with a Minotaur, then I'll want to do something more complicated. There are a bunch of classes and characters. In fact, I should show you that. We'll just leave this running idle. Come in with my secondary account. Or I could do it with the offline one, just to be more confusing. Because the offline you can make multiple, you can have multiple saves going. See, I already have two here, 2 Minotaur Fighters. Online you can only have one game going per account, which is kind of nice and simple. Offline, you can have multiples going. In Angband you can do that too, but it gets the character management in Angband offline is just a nightmare. And I don't remember how good or bad it is for crawl offline. But anyway, let's do new game. So these are all the races. You can see they kind of break it down for you into which are the complicated ones to play and which are the simple ones. Minotaur are simple. I tried a few of these because, specifically, I tried Demigod. See, it says refuse to worship any god, and I'm basically playing a atheist Minotaur because I don't really like in this game. You'll always find these shrines to various gods as you go through the dungeons and the levels. In fact, there's like a temple area that's just shrines. But I'll show you some of those, but basically there's things that you kind of like the gods always want you to play a certain way, basically. And I don't need no man upstairs or woman upstairs telling me how to play my game. So yeah, I'm gonna be an atheist. But demigods are they're partial gods themselves, offspring of gods and mortals. So they don't worship any god. They're like, why would I worship them? That's just my uncle, So I thought that was cool, and that's seen as a negative for them. So it's like, oh well, that would be advantageous if I played that type then, because their negative is the no religion thing, which I'm doing voluntarily as a Minotaur. But they also, as they go up in levels, they get the most points to distribute to their attributes. So they become these very strong characters. They do level a little slowly, and they don't have any other particular powers, except that they're natively pretty good with magic. He says high reserves of health and magic, so they're strong. But I just found this certain thing that Minotaurs do in hand-to-hand combat is super fun, and playing a demigod, I did not have that, and I felt bored. I felt bored without it. So still playing Minotaur. Some of these other ones are pretty crazy. Octopode, because they have eight tentacles, they can wear 8 rings, but no armor or anything. And actually, I noticed there's an Angband variant called Frog Compost Band, which also has a a character like that. I don't know if they got it from Stone Soup or if Stone Soup got it from them. I feel it is a cat character or a weird, not a weird cat, but like a cat person character, I guess. I don't know. A lot of this is just in your head because it doesn't tell you. It says many lived cats or many lived. Is that proper grammar? So maybe they are just a cat, or do they move around on four legs? I don't know. There's no picture to tell you. It's all in your head. I suppose if you're playing WebTiles, it might have a tile or something. Anyway, lots of race or species options, and the thing is, so the first thing you do in character creation is you pick your species. So let's say I picked Spriggan is like a tiny little fairy, basically. Now, this makes it look like you only have access to certain classes based on the species or race you picked. But that's not actually the case. It's just showing you the ones that it sort of recommends. And the key at the bottom, it says plus, I see. Okay, you can pick a random one of those, I see. But basically, these ones in white are the ones that it recommends more or less for the species or race that you chose. So for a Spriggan, for these little fairies, it recommends playing Abyssal Knight, Conjurer, Brigand, Artificer, Warper, Enchanter, Earth Elementalist, or Venom Mage. But you can still pick these others. I think there might be a few combinations you aren't allowed to do just because they're totally self-contradictory. I don't remember any of those off the top of my head. There's just a handful of those throughout the whole game. For the most part, you can combine any race or species with any what they call background, what other games would usually call character class or something. So I can pick one of these. I could be a Spriggan Chaos Knight, I believe. Let me try it. Yep. And then you get to pick a starting weapon. See, I'm terrible with almost all those weapons, so that's probably one reason why it suggested not to do that. I hit asterisk and it gave me the name Evamy. That's a cute name. Now notice this row of bright aqua hashtags. That is a wall. It's a solid wall, a remarkably solid wall, but just like a stone wall here, if I inspect this, it's not V, it's X. Stone wall. This is stone. These cyan ones are translucent stone walls, it's basically the game's version of like, shatterproof glass or unbreakable glass or whatever. So I thought that was kind of a funny, very gamey thing that this game does. And that we may see that come up later. It's sort of an important thing it does for online play specifically. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the combinations, the large number of races and classes or backgrounds, as it calls them. But the thing about backgrounds is, I didn't do this very well. I should have explained that back when we were on backgrounds. Let's get out of here and let's do another one. It does nicely. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Okay, so we're back on backgrounds. It's not using VI keys. The thing about backgrounds is, which it doesn't really tell you here, is that these really just set sort of your starting abilities and your starting gear. They do not, you're not stuck with what these give you. You can basically remake your character as you play the game to be whatever you want them to be. So these are just kind of starting sets. They're just convenient starting sets of skills and actually maybe not even, skills and gear. But the game it can last for a while, and you can basically remake your character to be whatever you want. So don't feel like these trap you into anything in particular. For instance, I pick fighter for my for my Minotaurs, because that gives me the choice of some pretty good armor, starting armor and weapon, and I guess some initial skills, or maybe it's not even initial skills though. It's just basically decent fighting gear to start with, is why I picked fighter. So yeah, I mean, if you did pick one of these, you would start with, yeah, you do begin with some spells, for instance, if you pick a spell caster type and so forth. But that's really all it is. You can still do whatever you want, more or less. And you'll find more gear. There's little shops where you can find stuff. So you don't have to worry about being trapped as something. If you want to change later with the same character, you can do that. All right. So, back to the main show here. So here, and it's too bad I didn't have this fight available for you, but here we see some of that cyan, that translucent glass. And what was in here was a ghost, what they call ghosts. I think that's what was in here. There was also a weird, it was this short sort of chaos, but it was alive. It was animated. I had to kill it. I wonder if it'll tell me that. Oops, X. No, it doesn't tell me that it came from being a monster itself. These things of chaos are kind of fun to play with, because you see each time it hits an enemy, it has a different random effect, but they can also be beneficial effects. So for instance, when this thing was hitting me as a monster, I think a couple times it did something good to me, which was weird, and I was confused. I mean, not my character was not status effect confused. The player was like, what? Why are you doing that? But there was also a ghost in here, and ghosts are, when you're playing online, ghosts are actually characters that were played by other players. So you can see other players' probably old characters, and they'll basically play like fancy monsters who will come out of these little glass houses if you let them out. I didn't have to open the door to let them out. They were trapped in here. But if you open the door, then you can fight them. And it's just pretty cool. It's just fun way to get some unique enemies who feels like you're facing kind of another adventurer, and I think they show up as @ like you. Anyway, here is a altar. This is the religion. So I'm going to hit the right pointy bracket key, like the same key you would hit to go down a staircase is what you can hit to get to, oops, God, Windows leaning on my shift key, to check out an altar. So you kneel at the altar of Zom, wild and unpredictable god of chaos, who seeks not worshippers but playthings with which to toy. Fancy writing here. Many choose to follow Zom in the hope of receiving fabulous rewards and mighty powers, but Zom is nothing if not capricious. There is nothing a follower can do to influence Zom's mood. Or is it capricious? Zom was neutral to me. I have not joined his religion. You can toggle with the exclamation key through different pages here, and it tells you what powers Zom may confer upon you. In a good mood, Zom may shower worshippers with gifts, while at other times this capricious god could decide to, quote, spice things up a little, unquote, and send worshippers to their doom. If such toys of Zom prove to be interesting, so much the better. If not, well, there will be other playthings. And then wrath is where if you quit the religion, the god will usually be sort of miffed, and it sounds like Zom particularly hates it and will really mess with you if you leave his religion. So I'm not going to worship Zom of Chaos. Like with little characters I was just, testing things with, I've joined I think this happened with, I recorded one episode. If you look through my video archive or the playlist of that I have of Stone Soup, you'll see one video before this of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, and I think in that one I did test out a religion, and I got one more recently in a just a little offline, well, just a non-recorded test session I was running. And it's been, I think it's the god Fedhas, and it's some sort of a nature plant god. And, they seemed all right, but then, like, every time I would slay an evil creature or something in the dungeon, it would say, like, Fedhas approves of your contribution or something. It's like, I don't need your approval, man. I don't need you spamming my messages with your nonsense every time I fight somebody. Come on. So, I don't know. That's part of my objections to religion. I'm just a jerk that way. So this little offshoot here, though. I'm gonna quick nav back over here. Go through dungeon level 6. Yes, do it. Here we are. What is over here? Oh, it's an amulet of regeneration. I currently have an amulet of regeneration that I'm not even wearing because I'm wearing an amulet of the acrobat, which is what? That gives me evasion or something. Yeah, let's see if I take that off. Oh, how do I use it? No. Gosh dang. How do I take off jewelry? Maybe I have to pull up the... No, there's a way to do it. Remove jewelry. Shift R. Okay. Shift R. Amulet of the Acrobat. K. Finish taking... Oh, my evasion didn't change. I've seen it change once, though, and I think it was the amulet, so I'm not sure. Allows the user to tumble and roll the blows, evade the blows of their enemies, but only while moving and waiting. Oh. That's it then. So if I put this back on, and if I'm moving, oh yeah, look at that. My evasion goes up to 26 when I move. But then it goes back to 11 if I'm just sort of messing around, horsing around, standing still. That's interesting. But it said if I'm waiting, so maybe if I'm resting with 5, hitting 5 to wait. I don't know. So, but I have other amulet choices now. Amulet of regeneration. Increases the wearer's rate of health regeneration in order to function. So the drawback of this amulet of the acrobat is you could use that if you wanted to like run away. That would help if people were trying to hit you as you're moving past them. But for the most part, if you're in a big fight, when I'm in a big fight, I'm not moving around because then you're just, you're inviting free hits. So most of the time I'm not moving, and then the amulet won't be doing anything for me as it describes there. So I could do this amulet of regeneration instead. You have to wear it at full health first. Let's put that on. It attuned myself to my uninjured body, or attuned itself. Okay, so I guess we got some health regen. Oops. Whoops, here's a bullfrog. Okay, so I furiously the bullfrog closely misses me. The bullfrog tried to hit me. The devil. Oops. Hey. I'm hitting wrong buttons. I just wanted to pull up the bullfrogs. Unusually aggressive amphibian. Cold-blooded, slowed by cold attacks. So the bullfrog tried to hit me. It missed. I did a shoot. Control P for the message log. A bullfrog comes into view. The bullfrog croaks. The bullfrog completely misses you. So it tried to hit me. It completely missed. You furiously retaliate. I can't even say furiously. So that is the power, basically, the Minotaur has in melee combat. He will automatically riposte an attack with his horns, the Minotaur's horns, which start out as they're technically a mutation, which any player could get. There are mutations that you can acquire in this game, which aren't always good. For instance, the drawback of the horns for the Minotaur is I cannot wear helmets. I can wear hats, which presumably he just punches holes in with his horns, but I cannot wear helmets. Because I have these big horns on my head, but these horns are like stage 2 of the horn mutation, and at some point they will become stage 3, which is even larger horns, which I'm excited for. You headbutt the bullfrog, but do no damage. Oh, the bullfrog hits you but does no damage. So then I both tried to hit him with my weapon, and I did another headbutt counterattack, automatic counterattack, but missed again. Then he tried to hit me again, missed me again. Then I furiously retaliated again. Then I hit him. You headbutt the bullfrog. And I've headbutted him twice successfully. So anyway, it's the automatic headbutting that I kind of love with the Minotaur. I mean, I could be surrounded by enemies and they could all be attacking me, and I would get headbutts against them all. It's super sweet. I just love it. And also just makes the fighting feel like there's just more going on. And I don't know. I just really enjoy the headbutting. Oh, I can get through down here. Well, I'm a dope. Now, if you hit O in this game, that's autoexplore. So if I hit O right now, it moves me through places that I had not previously seen on the map, and it'll do that until it finds something that it thinks is a noteworthy thing for me to look at. So it found this ruined translucent door, which is unusual, and it stopped its automatic exploration. But you can see the trail that it just followed on its own, on autopilot. And you do that with the O key. As a Minotaur fighter, you're strong enough that on the first 2 levels of this dungeon, you can just hit O. There's a meme about this. It's a photo of this it's basically a keyboard. It doesn't really look like a keyboard though, because it's just got 2 buttons on it. It's got a button that says tab and a button that says O, because the tab key will move you toward an opponent you find. If you find a monster, so here's a monster. If I hit tab, it's going to move me toward the monster. And now that I'm next to them, if I hit tab again, it will attack. If I had a ranged weapon equipped as my main weapon, it would have shot from range. It would have shot at them with it. But so I hit tab and it just auto attacked with my main weapon, and I hit tab again and it killed it with my main weapon. So the meme is that for DCSS, hey, you just need a keyboard with a tab key and an O key. You hit O until you find a monster. Here's a bullfrog that I found with O, autoexplore, and then I hit tab until the bullfrog is dead, and then I hit O again, find another monster. Here's a hound. I hit tab until the monster is dead. I hit O until there's a monster. Here's an ogre. I hit tab until the monster is dead, and so forth. Now, once I found that once I was past dungeon level 2, and here I'm on dungeon level 7, you can get into serious trouble doing that. So far here, I'm not getting into serious trouble because I'm just finding single enemies at a time. Here I am tabbing until the bullfrog is dead. These bullfrogs are not tough foes, by the way. And that here's a troll shaman. He might do something. Oh, but he's inside this weird stone glassy house thing. Oh, there's a whole gang of them in there. It's a whole gang of gnolls. What up, gnolls? Oh, they had a ton of dough out here. Oh no, that's the total I have. There were only 17 there. So gnolls in glass houses. Oh no, it's only glass doors. They have a smoking staff. And what is that? It's not telling me what that bracket is. Maybe I can't see it. Is it behind those gnolls? And a howler monkey. There's a howler monkey in there with him. And then the 8s are statues, I think. Oops, I opened the door. Well, now we have to fight. That was a tactical key. Oh, no, it's a monster. What is this? What are you? What? What is that? Was that a glitch? No, there's something invisible here. Yeah, something invisible is now stuck between me and the gnolls. The howler monkey's carrying on. But yeah, there is something here. I headbutt something. I wonder what that is. Well, now that weird bracket thing appeared again. Well, now it's saying there's was it an invisible gnoll that's this weird bracket? I wonder if I have a, do I have like a potion of sea? I have a ring of sea invisible. Ooh. How many turns is it going to take me to put it on? Place my ring of intelligence. An unseen horror. Aha. Well, I see you, unseen horror. Rarely seen by anyone. Moves erratically. Extremely fast. You can get funny little quotes for all of these. These sort of fancy, old-timey quotes. The awful shadow of some unseen power floats, though unseen, amongst us. All right. That's the unseen horror, I guess, from Shelley. Was that Shelley? Well, whoever it was. Well, I see it now with my ring of sea invisible. That's a super handy ring to have, and it didn't take long to put on. I guess that was just like a turn. Well, now that I can see it, I mean, and it got itself into a bit of a pickle here, trapped between me and the gnolls and that crazy howler monkey. The unseen horror is almost dead. Oh, a gnoll has a halberd, has a pole arm, and so it can hit me from its 2 square distance. The gnoll shaman is buffing the gnolls. Come on, finish it. There we go. Unseen horror is dead. What is throw? Yeah, no, that's shout. What's the throw command? I have a sling as my secondary weapon, but I think it takes a turn to switch to that. So I was just going to throw one of these stones instead of switching to the sling and slinging a stone because they're only 1 square away from me. Select an item and fire it. Is that throw? Maybe it is. Shift F. I have a net. I don't want to do that now. When did I get throwing nets? Oh, throw it at the shaman? Is it? The shaman isn't the one. Oh, he is the one right in front of me. Well, yeah, hit him. Oh, no damage. What the heck? I guess I... Oh. All right, well, he advanced, so now I can just hit him with my axe. Or not? There we go. So I hit him with my axe, but do no damage. What? What? Is this guy shielded himself or something? Corona. Divine abilities which are affected by silence. What does that mean? What is Corona? Glowing light. Oh, that's not a shield. Why did I do no damage? He's wielding a +2 broadaxe of freezing and wearing +3 leather armor. That's not bad. Oh, I'm down to half health. I wonder if I skipped. See, without the flash, I tend to miss the health warning, which is bad. So I should probably not have it off, but I don't know. And it's unfortunate for me. Oh, the Howler Monkey's behind, so maybe that one gnoll can't hit me with. Oh, two of them have pole arms, it says in the upper middle right there. I'm regaining health with my health regeneration amulet, though. I'm not damaging this friggin'. Oh no, I got him finally. That was weird. Now I got the Howler Monkey. What can we learn about a Howler Monkey? Oops. Having a real hard time here. Hitting the right buttons. I thought I hit H. Tell me about the Howler Monkey. Too many piles of things here. Oh, I have to hit A, not H. What does the H mean there then? Oh, that's what it looks like on the map. Duh. Known for the astonishing variety and volume noise it can produce. That's not too exciting. Warning cry ability. Well, what is this affected by silence thing, though? That's kind of a weird thing to say. Well, the Howler Monkey's dead. I forgot the command for throw already. Oh, it was Shift F. Or fire. Take a stone. Fire at the gnoll. No damage. What the heck, man? Oh well. Maybe sling stones just aren't effective when thrown. I mean, I'm a super buff dude. I have a strength 28. At least for a beginner character. That's buff as heck. Because wait, don't I have a... Yeah, I have a +6 ring of strength, and I'm just super buff anyway. The ring of flight would be interesting. Flight. Oh, see, but it doesn't tell you here. If I do question mark, then slash, then would it be ability? Ability, flight. No. Status. Yeah, fly. Flying above the ground, able to cross water and lava or fight above shallow water without penalties. Most types of flight will time out. Presumably, if I was wearing a ring of flight, it would not time out, though. So I would be able to cross water and lava or fight above shallow water without penalties. Well, it could be useful for getting across lava anyway. That's cool. Well, what if I... Now I forget. Oh, I think it's the apostrophe key to toggle my weapon. Yeah, so now in the upper right of my little stat readout, you see the lower part of it there says +0 hunting sling. That's the B weapon I just toggled to. And I think toggling with apostrophe always swaps between A and B. And you, if you hit equal, that is adjust, and that's what lets you set the letter assigned to an item. So if you had an item you wanted to be your secondary weapon, for instance, you would hit equal sign, then items, then select it from the list, then tell it to be item B, basically. Then it would just pop in there when you toggled. So now I'm on my sling, and now I should be able to... Actually, I should be able to just hit tab. Yeah, and it shot a stone automatically. Sweet. Yeah, that's super handy. Just tab for firing my equipped missile weapon. Now we're doing damage. Oh, but see then you can't use auto attack if your health drops below a certain threshold, it doesn't want to take responsibility for you dying. So they all have long-range weapons. That's why I'm taking all this damage. I should probably just charge in on them because this is dumb. I mean, that's dumb too. I'm going to switch back to my war axe. I am going to... I'll drink a potion of curing. Q for quaff. Potion of curing. That gets me up to 42. That wasn't a whole lot. They didn't hit me in the interim though, so now I'm going to get up there. The reason why I have taken to liking axes is because axes hit everybody around you, or they have a chance to hit everybody around you. They do less damage to the people you're not aiming directly at, but they can still hit them and do some damage, which seems pretty cool. I don't know how the math works out. You know, is it more advantageous than just using a weapon like a sword that would just hit the one person in front of you? I don't know. But it seems fun, so that's what I'm doing. Wow, I just killed 2 gnolls with 2 slashes. Now see if I move up, which is tactically stupid, but then I could hit 2 with 1 swing in theory. Was that 2 with 1 swing? No, see there I barely missed 1 gnoll. I missed both of them. There I killed 1 and missed the other. All right, well anyway, so that's what axes have as a special property. Hits all enemies adjacent to the wielder, dealing less damage to those not targeted. So got a lot of loot out of that weird mob. Mostly gnolls. What is this? Club. So that invisible guy was weird because sometimes he would show up as that curly bracket, but I couldn't pull up a description of it. That was mysterious. A staff of poison. Oh, I found a lot of these things. A staff of, blank. So they're sort of, then they all basically follow the same pattern of what they say. If a wielder is skilled in, blank, then they can blank those struck by it. But I'm not skilled in any of these types of magic, so basically these staves are useless to me. They sound cool and all. Uh-oh. Where's the necrophage? Oh, there he is. A vile undead creation of the most unholy necromancy. They're really laying it on thick, aren't they? Made from the decaying corpses of humanoid creatures, exist to spread disease and decay. Well, that's gross. Drain life. That doesn't sound so bad. Oh, wow, it just booped right up there. Does it say it's fast? Doesn't say anything about its speed. I hit it. The readout of enemies on the right, the color of the square next to their name shows you their relative damage amount. So when it's red, that means they're almost dead. Heavily damaged, as it says in the text at the bottom. I got in a headbutt, and he's dead. Necrophage is necroed out. And a centaur? Gosh. Look at how my health is regenerated already, though. Centaurs always shoot stuff at you. I was almost killed by a combination of a centaur and what was it? Some other sort of mythical creature that I thought I could handle, but the two of them together both had these missile weapons. They were just messing with me. Actually, I was killed by them. I was a different character. It was this long-running combat, and I could have escaped. I could have just totally run away, but I thought I could handle them, so I sort of tried to ambush them, and it one of them had these barbs they shot, and the trouble with those was when they hit me, if I tried to move, I would take damage because it said, the barb was tearing at my flesh, and it was pretty rough. I was, I didn't know. I'm very ignorant, and so in my ignorance, and hubris, I was killed. But I think I can take this lone centaur. That was a lot of 16 gold. I think I have a short bow. I do. I have a +2 battle axe of freezing. Now wait, that's a two-handed weapon. Yeah, it's two-handed. 15 damage, 1.7 base attack delay. Versus, I put in a suggestion on their official bug tracking system to maybe think about showing like a comparison here, where you could see a comparison of a weapon you're looking at with the weapon you're currently wielding, because now you have to look at these numbers. They also don't tell you average damage that the weapon does with whatever else, whatever all it has. It just tells you base damage and base attack delay, and you kind of have to estimate all this stuff. So base 11 damage, 1.5 attack delay is the one I'm using. 11, 1.5 versus 15, 1.7, but it has a -4 accuracy. How does that factor in? I don't know. I needed to do math for me and tell me what the average damage I would do would be. But it can freeze enemies. How often does it freeze? It freezes all of them? Maybe I should try it just for a bit. Why? Oh, I have to take Shift T, take off my buckler. No, wait. It's a +0 buckler. My AC is 11. If I take off the buckler, buckler's shields just affect evasion. So my evasion went from Shift W for armor. My evasion went from, oh no, it's a shield, SH. Oh gosh. So my shield factor goes from 5 to obviously 0. How much does that matter? I have no idea. Anyway, now wield the battle axe of freezing. Thank you. See, it should just ask you, if you try to equip a two-handed weapon with a shield, it should just say, do you want to take off your shield or something? And you would hit yes or no. Spear, ringmail, no corpse. Whip and a halberd. I haven't tried using a whip. You find a bunch of them, I guess, from these gnolls and so forth. Wait, there's another. I have a battle axe of freezing. There's a broad axe of freezing. My battle axe is -4, 15, 1.7. X. V. A. That's a very fancy description. A length half? Is length the word? This has only -2 accuracy, 13 base damage. So it kind of splits the difference. It is a chunk slower. I think it's probably one-handed, yeah. That does freezing. I will be able to use my shield with that. I like how it tells you where you got these things. Took it off a Gnoll Shaman level 7 of the dungeon. Well, heck. Maybe I'll get that. +3 leather armor? Is that good? I don't know. Pick up multiple things at once with that funky interface. Let's wield the broad axe of freezing. Let's wear Shift W. I have +2 plate. Oh, I must have enchanted it. No, I need a shield. I'm already wearing that. I need the buckler C. So wait, +3 leather armor is not going to be better than +2 plate, of course. And the leather display does give you a comparison. If I switch to wearing this armor, oh, my AC would remain unchanged. +3 leather is... Oh, I'm wearing ringmail. I wasn't even wearing the plate. Oh, man. Well, I'm a dope, or B, I just found that plate recently, maybe when I was doing autoexplore and wasn't paying attention. I mean, I was using this as just a test character, so I was running around doing all kinds of stuff and not really paying attention to what was going on all the time. Oh, so that's comparing with my ringmail. If I check out the plate armor, if I switch wearing this armor, my AC would increase by 9. Yeah, so that's... Oh, I could just do it from there, huh? W from here. Now I'm wearing plate. Now my AC is 20 instead of 11. So it's if I'd been wearing that during that fight, I probably would have been much less worried about my eventual health. Okay, let's get rid of a bunch of this stuff. I think maybe I'll play with those nets later. I don't know. Let's drop the broad axe of freezing. No, the battle axe of freezing, because I'm liking the one-handedness. Well, I don't know. Two-handed is fun, but I thought I don't know, whatever. Drop the war axe +1. I think that's the weapon I started with. Drop the ringmail. Drop the +3 leather armor. I guess I'll keep the amulet of the acrobat. I suppose there's a case in which I could benefit from switching to that. I'm a little torn over, should I wear the Ring of Intelligence or should I wear the Ring of See Invisible? See Invisible would probably save my buns more than the Ring of Intelligence. Just exploring, so I should probably keep that on. And a Ring of Flight I can switch to if I need to fly over lava or something. I have scrolls of Identify I could use to identify those blue potions. Okay, so let's drop that stuff. Read that scroll of Identify, or one of them, for the potions. Potions of flight. Well, I have a lot of flying options now. So I'm pretty well equipped right now. I'm character level what? It doesn't tell me here? I thought it did. Is SH level? No, that's shield. Oh, XL is my level. That's a weird abbreviation for it. So I'm level 10. I think this is the highest level I've ever had a character in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. I have not played this game much, mind you. And dungeon level 7 is probably the deepest I've been. And I need some water, so hang on one sec. That's interesting. The XL is my character level, and next is, I guess, I'm 25% of the way to getting to the next level in terms of experience I've earned. I think that's what that means. So yeah, maybe when I was running around on autoexplore there, and I was doing that in some previous levels too. Here's another shrine. What do we got now? Basalt altar of Yeredelemonol. I kneel at the altar of Yeredelemonol. The dark. Powers over death and the undead. Now see, Zom didn't list granted powers, but Yeredelemonol has some. Followers can raise legions of servile undead and gain a number of other useful powers with which to make better use of the souls of the living. Especially favors those who would destroy holy creatures. Oh dear. Which oppose the realm. Is witch proper there? Which oppose the realm of undeath. Okay. Granted powers. You can animate remains. Oh, I wonder what that does. I mean, what happens after you animate them? You can recall your undead slaves. Who are your undead slaves? You can mirror injuries on your foes. Mirror injuries. So, I mean, if you're injured, then you can inflict those same injuries magically on your foes. Animate legions of the dead. What? You know, who wouldn't want to do that? For just 2 magic points. Your red dilemma will gift you servants as you gain piety. So maybe recalling your undead slaves means that if your servants die, presumably they're undead to start with, then you can, you know, resurrect them. Although that sounds like redundant with animate remains, so I don't know. You can drain ambient life force. Wow. You can enslave living souls. Well, that's a lot of cool stuff, I guess. Power to raise skeletons and corpses, recall undead followers to their vicinity, heal by draining the life force of living creatures. Bind a monster's soul, make it fight for them instead. Increasingly powerful undead servants. Well, that's cool stuff, I guess. But, you know, I don't like being told. I bow to no god. I'll just die someday soon. It'll be fine. Oh, there's a weird little... See, now I could have used autoexplore just to go in here. Oh my gosh, it's a little maze. Okay, I'm going to hit O. Get in there, O. I found a spell book. So if you find spell books in this game, you know, anybody can pick up spells from spell books, again, because you're not stuck with the starting stuff you get. It doesn't put you in a corner as far as advancement goes. But my character, what is my magic? Oh, you see there at the top is 9 out of 9. So I have 9 magic points. If I check my spell book, no. S, no. Shift M, there we go. 100% failure with all of these. I think that's because my intelligence is 5. Now, if I put on that ring of intelligence plus 6, H, let's put it on for the ring of see invisible just for a sec. My intelligence goes up to 11. 5 plus 6 is 11. And now, if I shift him, oh, my failure rate's still 100%. This spell is impossible to cast. It's actually not what I meant to do anyway. I have to toggle with exclamation point to describe. Fulminant Prison. Unleashes a violent explosion of arcane force after a short duration. Okay, well that's funky. So I don't know why my failure rate is 100%. I mean, 11 is still pretty low intelligence for a spellcaster, so that's almost certainly not helping. Well, being just medium dumb didn't help me at all. Let's shift R and shift P. Put on my ring of see invisible. Why did it give me this weird? Oh man! So I have to use left pointy bracket for the ring of strength or right pointy bracket for the ring of intelligence. Right pointy bracket. I feel stupid. Oh no! That sounds like I made the wrong choice. But whatever. Now I have my ring of see invisible. Okay, let's hit O again to auto. Oh, so I was done in there. Jeez. I found an escape hatch in the ceiling. I didn't actually want to go all the way up here. I guess I was done. So wait, did I miss something? No, autoexplore would have gone in there, right? Oh, there was a door there. Autoexplore did not. It went way up there instead of going just around. Oh, there's a gnoll chasing me. Hi, gnoll. You're dead. What's that? Orc wizard. Confuse me. Confuse sucks. Oh, now I bumped into the wall instead of hitting him. Oh, confused blows. This orc wizard can't really hurt me, but my shield went to 0. Is that because I'm confused? Is it still equipped? It's still equipped. That's interesting. I feel less confused. Let's kill this jerk. He's heavily wounded, and he's dead. +2 dagger of speed. Let's get that. Double edge base attack delay 1. That's lower than my axes, of course. High accuracy. Huh. Significantly faster attacks, it says. Now, but is that all in the base attack delay? Because that is not that much faster. I mean, just from the sound of it. Well, let's wield it. Oh, I'll be interested to see how this does. All right, well, there's this door down here. We have an ice beast. I don't think I've fought an ice beast. Formed of snow and crystalline ice. Crystalline. Sweetly puddles of icy water. Okay. No, I have seen one of these. Can deal cold damage, huh? Well, I'm hitting it good. Not doing a whole lot of damage, but I'm reliably hitting it. I headbutted it, but do no damage. I hit it, but did no damage. I did some with a headbutt. Alright, let's just kill him. Shield skill increases to level 7. We have an orc hiding back here in this weird twisty cave. Cyclops missile. What the heck does missile? What am I doing? I get confused when you're in this view thing, and I don't know, I can't necessarily tell I'm in it. Quivering large rocks. Despite its lack of binocular vision, it is able to throw boulders with fearsome accuracy. Yeah, that's kind of funny how that works. It is giant. It can hit for up to 35 damage. That's pretty good. Here I am hitting with a dagger of speed. Why does it say missile, though, in its name on the... That's weird. And a wandering howler monkey zombie. Well, let's finish off this Cyclops. Headbutt that Cyclops. Fighting skill increased to level 8. So here's the howler monkey zombie. Yeah. I am going to switch back to my axe of freezing. Because it's time to get serious. +2 hand crossbow of freezing. A glowing hand crossbow. Oops. Compact piece of machinery. That's cool. Takes some time to load and fire. Base attack delay 1.5. Base accuracy +5. Base damage 12. Base attack delay 1.5. +5, 12, 1.5. One-handed. Compare that with my hunting sling. +2, 9 for bullets, 1.2. So the crossbow's more accurate. 9 damage. 12 damage. And it freezes. I'd try that. Wield that. Now I have to adjust this. Equal sign. Or I could have done it from that screen. Equal sign. Adjust items. Q for hand crossbow. Adjust it to letter B. So now, and my hunting sling becomes Q. So now when I toggle with apostrophe, I'm toggling between my dagger Why is my dagger A? Did I do that? I gotta set my my broadaxe at freezing to be A. There we go. Now we got the broadaxe and the +2 hand crossbow. Look at all that fussing. Okay, so now I'm at the end of this crazy curly Q room. I wonder what that looks like in WebTiles. Get me out of here, autoexplore. There you go. And I could just keep hitting autoexplore, but I feel a little silly doing that all the time. Bloodstained altar of Trog. How many gods are there? I think it says somewhere. Oh, in fact. Well, I can hit look up? No. Can you? God. There we go. Here's the gods. There's Trog. So that's 3, 9. Oh no, I lost count. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 26. The Shining One is number 1. I guess I could have just realized there's the alphabet +1. Wait, did I count right? How many letters are in the alphabet? Is that the full alphabet? I don't know. I've forgotten. I never went to kindergarten. Let's just kneel at this. Let's see what Trog is all about. Ancient god of anger and violence, expected to kill in Trog's name, especially to slay wizards. Oh, I kind of like slaying wizards. Gain the ability to go berserk in combat at will. Granted assistance in the form of powerful weapons and mighty allies. Forbidden the use of spell magic. Well, that would suit me fine. But see, I mean, I guess maybe sometime I'll find a god who doesn't bother me. Go berserk at will. I don't know if I'd want to do that. Call upon Trog for regeneration willpower. Call in reinforcements. Grant you melee weapons. I don't know. Trog likes it when you kill living beings, you destroy the undead, you kill demons, you kill holy beings, and you destroy non-living beings. So he basically likes it when you kill everything. That's cool, I guess. Trog will grant followers the ability to rapidly heal their wounds. To rapidly heal is a split infinitive. While fortifying their willpower. Later the ability to call in powerful raging allies. Raging allies. Weapons with anti-magic effects. Well, it's a good sales pitch, Trog, but I ain't buying today. Look at these twisty little quarters. So here's Shift X for my map, which you can scroll around. I'm not a huge fan so far of Crawl's level design. Now I know it changes. It has sort of different styles later when you get to different areas. This is just dungeon, so I guess it's supposed to be kind of lumpy, and it certainly is. I mean, these are the starting levels of the game, basically, and they're all these lumpy dungeon things, and you know, it's not my favorite. But maybe if I ever manage to survive these new stages, I'll get to more interesting stages with architecture that's got a little more interesting structure to it, and not all this intense winding little things that are. I mean, I complained about, this is one thing that I complained about when I first sort of bounced off the game was oh, see, here's a trap, and I don't think there's a way to disarm traps, which I don't quite understand, because would there ever be a case where you're basically trapped by a trap and you would have to cross through it? But I don't think there's a way to disarm traps, which I think, why not just remove traps altogether? That's what I say for all these games. The traps are just irritating and just a pain. Nobody likes them. But for the most part, Crawl, what I'm discovering, so my initial complaints about Crawl were that it had shops. I didn't want to play with shops. Here's another temple. Oh my gosh. Not gonna keep looking at the. Oh no, I'll look at it. What the heck? The healer. All kind souls prepared to help others, or who is welcomed. Powerful healing abilities by which they can avoid bloodshed. That sounds boring. And you can convert to other sort of peacenik gods while not losing all your piety score. Purify yourself, heal, and attempt to pacify others, blah, blah. All right, well, that's cool, I guess, if you're into that kind of stuff. I did not like shops. I did not like the idea of shops being in a game. And I didn't like how the design just felt all over the place. It just felt like a lot of stuff had been thrown in. And it has. I mean, that's one. I mean, the game is still very actively, as you saw with those, how quickly the build numbers go off, actively developed, and they're still adding content. It's not just like Angband, where Angband is it kind of in just an extended polish mode currently anyway. But Crawl is actively just adding stuff all the time. I guess one of their design mantras is that they won't make the game radically bigger. They don't want to let it sort of creep to be bigger and bigger. So if they do add stuff, they tend to remove other stuff that is maybe less cool. But they're constantly adding or, swapping out content, I guess. They'll add new classes and stuff sometimes and remove ones that. So I think this is lava. It just says the floor. Oh, it's just a bloody floor? No, it's a travel excluded area. What the heck does that mean? It's not telling me. So I can't get in there. I think I did get in there once, did I? Maybe I didn't. That's weird. Promising great destructive powers. I think I did get there somehow. Did I hit a teleport trap that took... And then how would I have gotten out? Frost-covered statue. It has hit points. It's intelligent? That's weird. I wonder if that's the god. Well, I forget what that was all about. Maybe I never knew. Probably never knew. So this is an interesting point. So you can see that I've more or less explored the whole dungeon. Now, a lot of the times, though, you would know there were a couple little like dead ends that you'd not, or apparent dead ends that you hadn't wandered down that were still needing or could be explored. Probably just like one or two squares needed looking at. And that would be a pain. But in this game, you can just hit O for auto explore and it'll just zap you to all those little ragged areas. I hit O and it took me to the top of that place. And it's frustrated. Auto explore is frustrated. It can't get into that temple. I wonder if okay, let's, if I put on my ring of flight, replace the ring of see invisible. Now I'm flying in the air. If I try to move down, no, it's travel excluded. So it's not the floor that's the problem. It just doesn't. It's just a place that you're not allowed to move through. Yeah, navigation doesn't know how to get there. Well, remove the ring of flight. I float gracefully downwards. Is it downwards or downward? Why am I thinking I can correct somebody's grammar? All right, let's try auto explore again. No, I know I can't get back there. Oh, so it has... So it's explored all the places it can get to. Okay. So that tells you that, yeah, you've covered everything on this level. And now, even though... So there's a stairway down right down to the southeast to me, as you can see, that pointy bracket. But if I didn't see one immediately, I could hit Shift X. Then you have all these things you can do on the map. It's crazy. You can set up, you can navigate to other levels. You can navigate through other levels and pick a specific spot to go through, like in a whole other level of dungeon crawl that you've explored before. You can do all kind. Before I do that, okay, Control F. This is another cool feature. You can search for items that you may have accidentally left behind on the floor of the dungeon. If you were, for instance, rampaging through with autoexplore and tab, and you think you maybe might have missed picking something up. Searching the stash tracker. Yeah. So there's all these search things you can do to find stuff. I mean, you can search for things by name, search for things by level, search for a range of levels. Holy cow. Regex is allowed? Oh my gosh. That is insane. Search for items with a certain type of resistance. What I just do is the period. Just list everything on your current level. List all items at all waypoints. List everything matching query. I guess that's regex. Yeah, right. Jeez. Oh, I think I tried to search for some things by words, and maybe I needed to use equal sign for that, because that's as a substring. Probably. I guess. You can examine shops and items in the search results by pressing question mark and then selecting the hotkey for the search result. Man. Oh my gosh. Search for dungeon features. Search for altars by the deity name. Use exclamation to indicate a search. Hey. To find rings, jewelry, but not ring mail, you could use ring and exclamation mail. So ring and not mail. Jeez. Oh my gosh, that's too much. I just do Control F and then period, which will show me a list of everything laying around, and in shops, which does get a little confusing. I kind of wish there probably is some way to not have it show the shops. Well, it must be. You could use some kind of crazy code to do it, if nothing else. You can sort by distance. That doesn't matter though, because I have the auto navigate. Hide useless and duplicates with equals. Oh no. Show useless. Does that mean it's showing duplicates right now? Okay, I guess so. It's on hide by default. By distance, by name. Oh, this is sorting. Toggle travel or view. I'm not sure. Well, that's just when I pick these, it'll travel to them. A staff of fire, that would be for fire type mage people though, or who want to be. There's a fancy set of ring mail. Let's go see that. Which one of those is it? I guess it was the green highlight. How did I miss that? +2 ring mail of the kettle drum. So, powerful magic things show the properties they confer in this sort of shorthand, and I'm not good enough to necessarily be able to read it. I guess this one, I mean, something, is it going to slow you in exchange for resist corrosion, slay +5, and stealth something? Let's just read this. Light leather suit. Oh, yeah, okay. We know what ring mail is. Or sort of. Slay. It affects your accuracy and damage with ranged weapons and melee. So +5 to hit with anything, kind of. Protects you from acid and corrosion. May slow you when you take damage. Yeah, an asterisk is a bad thing. So I've been finding a lot of things like this where they have like good stuff, but then one bad thing that takes place in a certain situation. And that's kind of weird. I don't really think that's great. Like, why would you wear this? It makes you less stealthy. That's a negative thing too. Yeah, it's an artifact. So these artifacts are weird, man. I mean that's probably why I'm finding them at such a low level, you know, because these are pretty much junk artifacts because of these negative things. And I mean it's ring mail, so that's not good armor. Oh, here's a handy shortcut is Shift D, which drops the last thing you picked up. So Shift D and it automatically drops it. That's super sweet. That corrosion property, that resist corrosion. Corrosion is what will happen to you. It's a status effect that if something with acid, if you get hit by acid, you get the corrosion stat or corroded status effect. That will show in red under your stat display in the upper right there. Now that is in contrast. See, in a lot of ways I've discovered since I played a bunch of Angband in the interim, this game is kind of the anti-Angband. So in Angband, a huge thing I hated in Angband, and that's one reason I am not playing Angband right now, is because there are all these things in Angband that will cover you in acid. That's the status message you get. You are covered in acid. You're constantly being told there are ants will cover you in acid. Black dragons will cover you in acid. Traps will cover you in acid. Certain type of jellies will cover you in acid. Black dragon flies or something, at least in Moria, would cover you in acid. All these things will cover you in acid, and the acid melts your armor. It reduces the armor class value of your armor. It just turns it into junk. So you're constantly, that's the game's, I can't speak, I'm so annoyed. That's Angband's way, not this game, Angband's way of, and most Angband variants, I think, of making you go grind for another set of armor, basically, or, you know, money to buy another set of armor in the shop. This game doesn't do that. The corrosion, when you get hit by acid, at most you're going to get afflicted with the status effect of corroded. It doesn't last very long. While you do have this corroded status effect, your armor is less effective. Your armor class drops. And I think your weapons, metal weapons you have, are also less effective. But the status effect wears off pretty quickly, and then you don't have to replace your armor. You don't have to replace all your metal stuff. It's just a temporary thing. So that is something I very much, coming from Angband, where you constantly would have to go shopping to get new armor or whatever, or grind, but you can't really grind effectively if the armor you're wearing is junk. So it's just a huge pain in the buns. And you know, the makers of this game were just like, you know what, we're not going to make players have to do that. It's a tactical situation. If you get corroded in a fight, you have to think about how you're going to survive with less armor for a little while. But then it's not a huge setback for your character as a whole. It'll wear off and then you'll be all right. Does that really make sense? Not really, but it's way less of a pain than Angband's. So I very much appreciate that kind of thing. That's why I'm giving this game another shot. And what I'm finding is it's all of these things all of these features, like the auto explore, the auto navigation, the fact that shops in this game, they do exist, but they are just kind of places where you can get cool bonus stuff from time to time. We'll probably find one soon, so I won't bother talking too much about it here. But basically, it's just trying to give you a fun dungeon crawl without, all the hassle stuff that Angband or other games might like to inflict upon your character. Am I just hitting random buttons? So anyway, after I have auto-explored and there's nowhere else I can explore according to auto-explore, I didn't finish searching, did I? Control F period. Is there anything else that I want to look at? There's a staircase to it. Oh, okay. No, I should go look at that. Staircase to the Ecumenical Temple is O. I missed that. So that's this little sort of shrine-looking thing here. What's this other stairway off to the side? Is that something? No, that just goes down. So this is important because this is actually a feature of the dungeon as a whole. The dungeon in Crawl is sort of this it's sort of a bunch of different worlds all jammed into this crazy underground area, which confused me. That was another reason why I sort of bounced off the game, because I couldn't really understand in my head. I felt like it was sort of warping me between planes of reality or something, and it was just this really confusing thing. It's pretty gamey, admittedly, because these don't make sense probably in a strictly physical sense of how are these all jammed together in one underground kingdom. Who knows? It's bizarre. But here we are in the temple. So the temple is, like I was mentioning before, just a place with, and see, there's a staircase back to the dungeon. So it is kind of this warping thing. It's a little weird, but there's no need to basically worry your head. It's just very gamey, and it's just a way to have these places. And with auto navigation, actually you hit Shift G, and this will allow you see dungeon and temple. So now I know basically two sort of regions of the overall dungeon. I mean, dungeon is an area, so that you can't really call it dungeon. I know two areas of the overall Crawl world, Crawl underworld, or I don't know what the phrase would be, but so that took me a while to get my head around. But it's just how they kind of jam everything into this one dungeon crawling experience, and you don't have to, I don't think, try to fit them together in some sort of jigsaw puzzle in your head. That's just the way it is. So this has a bunch of different shrines. Shrine of Quazalal, a broken altar of Ashen Zari, Makleb's burning altar. These names are hilarious. Ancient bone altar of Kikubakda. That was a fun one to kill my throat with. Sparkling altar of Nemelex Zobe. Shimmering altar of Zom. We've already seen one of Zom. Zom's getting good PR. Blossoming altar of Fedas. That's the plant god. God of plant and fungal life. Yeah. You can't harm any plants. So, see, I thought I might run into... Wait, what was that about? Ballistomycete? You can grow a ballistomycete. Oh, what? Even fire missiles or spells... without causing harm. What is a ballistomycete? Oh, they grow a protective wall of briar patches as well as ballistomycetes that fire damaging spores, whose explosions confuse living creatures. Okay. Well, that answered that question. I'm sure Fedas is a cool guy. The shining one. Oh, that's the one. Bound to the code of the honorable warrior. Eternal crusade against evil. Okay. Forsaking dark magic and underhanded tactics. Oh yeah, I've seen this one before. This one. The shining one rewards them and their allies with the power they need to slay demons and the undead. Call upon angels in time of need. The shining one occasionally guards your life. Prevents you from stabbing unaware foes. No backstabbing. Partially shields you from negative energy. Rated as small righteous aura. Others within it are easier to hit. Oh man, you're righteous. That means you can hit people. Allies can gain power from killing the unholy and evil. You and your allies. Call upon a divine shield. Blast of cleansing flame. Summon a divine warrior. Bless your weapon with holy wrath once. Well, that's all great, I'm sure. Sacrificial altar of Rue. Now that's a good god name. Of all the gods, only Ru opposed creation, not as folly but as distraction. Powers underlying underlying the invisible world, renouncing the fetters that bind them here. So he's like this is a philosophical god. These sacrifices are not made to Ru, but rather given up freely and permanently. Initiates become able to draw upon this immense power to aid themselves, eventually gaining the ability to unleash its destructive might. Oh, that's not philosophical. Aura of power. Heal your body, restore your magic, gather your power into a mighty leap, wreak a terrible wrath. Well, okay. So that's the temple. Let's go back to the dungeon. Datura tip darts. I guess that's poison, probably. Let's see, wait, there's probably. No. Control F question mark. What if I want to see all this stuff, but not features? Finding dungeon features. You can search for dungeon feature by name. What if I don't want to find them, though? Can I exclude them? Maybe not easily. I mean, that would probably just take longer to type than just reading the list and manually screening stuff out with my brain, but... Well, okay, wait. Period lists everything. Dot dot lists all items. So I should probably just do dot dot. But then I wouldn't have noticed the entrance to the temple. So I probably shouldn't. But dot dot. Oh. That didn't hide duplicates though. Oh, it shows all the stuff I'm carrying. I don't want that. List all items with specified waypoint. I want list all items in the level. List all items at all waypoints. Control F asterisk. Well, there's probably some way to do it that I am not smart enough to figure out right now. So I'll just have to stick with dot. So I guess artifacts are white specifically. And see, notice I'm also not keeping stuff to sell. There's no selling stuff in shops. So you don't lug stuff around just so you can cash in on it or anything. So yeah, nothing, it doesn't look like anything else I want. So in that case, I do Shift X and then right pointy bracket, and that will find me, that will find me a staircase down. In this case, the nearest one it found me is the one to the temple, which is not what I want. So I'm going to hit Shift pointy bracket again, right pointy bracket, and there's a stairway down, which I knew about, but that's what I would do if I didn't know where one was. Then you hit enter and it takes me there, and I just hit Shift pointy bracket down and I'm down. So, I mean, that took a long time to explain, but it's really quick to actually just make sure you've covered everything in the level and then jump to the stairway down to the next one that you already knew about. Shiny fluorescent wand. Wand of paralysis. It's funny how the description, it auto picked it up. Wand of paralysis sounds handy. Well, that's good to have, I think. I have a lot of stuff. Oh, wyvern. Dragon light creature. Oh boy. Oh, maybe, was it a wyvern and a centaur I fought? No, I don't think it was. Smaller and less formidable than true dragons. That's good. Oh, am I on my hand crossbow? Dang it. Oops. Switch to my axe. It did get a turn as I switched to my axe. My +2 hand crossbow of freezing stops glowing. My broadaxe of freezing glows with a cold blue light. Is that just because I'm equipping and unequipping? Guess it is. All right, well, let's see what we can do this wyvern. Now, one thing that's, again, different from Angband in this game is that creatures will follow you up and down staircases. So if I tried to escape down a staircase from somebody who was beating me up, like this wyvern, they could probably follow me. I don't know if it's got to be wyvern now, because you couldn't say wyvern. I don't know. Anyway, so hopefully I can take this guy. Oh, moderately wounded. That's looking good. Got a hit. Missed my headbutt. Froze him, too. 2 hits. Well, sweet. Short blade skill increases. Wait a second. Okay, so skills is a thing that Angband doesn't have, so I'm a little... Why did I hit F? Why didn't I have to hit Shift F? What is F? Shift F is select an item. F is fire the currently... Oh, that's what I wanted all along. Oh, gosh. I love how creatures get a little cross. I mean, that is a weird religious Christian thing to put in this game, but still, the fact that they get a little gravestone, a wyvern corpse, as a glyph for their body, it's kind of funny. I was just talking about something, now I've forgotten what it was. Maybe the log will remind me. Nope, I don't remember. Oh, blade seal skills. M shows you skills. I don't know if I really need skills in my roguelikes. Seems like a complication. You leave it by default there on autopilot, and so as you see there, as we've seen, they just level up sometimes. Now, why short blades just went up? What is short blades? I don't know. I mean, there's short blades, long blades, which I have not raised from the looks of it. Skills enhanced by cross-training. I guess I got it from 0 to 0.6. Maces and flails, I don't know why that's so high. Axes is a 12. I guess maces and flails gets a lot of cross-training from axes, maybe? So I do have training being put into short blades. Why, I don't know. I guess maybe it just thinks that's a basic skill you should have as a survival thing. I mean, in theory, I could change all these weightings and so forth. Oh, I see. General explanation of skilling. You gain experience for killing monsters. Yeah. Train skills. Skills are weighted based on your use of them. Aptitude. So, yeah, that's one thing you get from a species. That I kind of wish that didn't happen. But different species have different aptitudes for different skills. So you are kind of stuck. That's not from your background. It's from your species. You're sort of better. You're just better. You're just always going to be better at learning some skills than others. I guess that you're not stuck. You can still learn them. It's just slower. So plus aptitudes. Well, I think so. Part of the Minotaur's thing is he just has a lot of aptitudes, like in weapon training, I guess. Not in spellcasting, you see, and not in evocations and stealth, but in pretty much every weapon type, except for throwing. That's interesting. But slings, crossbows, bows. Huh. So I haven't built up any skill in crossbows. I wonder if I start using these crossbows, if I will. I would think so. There's skill in armor, dodging, and shields. I mean, what does that do? I guess I could understand what shields could do. Let's go back to help. Right? And shields. A high shield skill helps you block melee attacks. It tells me. Block melee attacks or projectiles with your equipped shield. Okay. What about short blades? Oh, that's because I was using that knife of speed. Of course. Long blades. Yeah, okay. Maces and flails. I don't know why my maces and flails is so high. I guess I was probably using a mace earlier. I mean, before I started recording. Well, it's all my own fault for forgetting everything. Okay, so that's skills. It's a little more complication than my dumb brain needed. Still in these whiny. Oh, this is interesting little. I wonder what that's all about. +0 leather armor. Come on, dungeon level 8. +0 leather armor. Really gonna be wasting our time with that? What is this? Oh, it's a spell book. Okay. More spells that I'm sure I have no chance of casting, even if I could learn them, which I don't think I can. Memorize dazzling flash, consuming 3 spell levels and leaving 6? I guess not. So I guess I don't have to learn them. What is shift? Oh, that's... it's more about memorizing them to use them. +0 dagger? Why is that in that color? Is that just how it goes? This is a lot for a +0 dagger. Look at all this text. We have a big poem about daggers from Lord Thomas. Oh, that's the ballad, Lord Thomas. 1650. Okay. I mean, I could be using autoexplore. It doesn't... not giving me anything too tough here. So here I see what looks like a monster, but it's not showing me in the middle right. Is not showing me a monster. Oh, it's a plant. Oh, that's fine. A whole bunch of plants. Maggie, which is a person, that hat symbol with a wand and a polearm. Maggie the Vainglorious comes into view. Has a halberd of flaming and a wand of ice blast. Uh-oh. Well, she attempts to bespell me. Okay. Well, I have that wand of paralysis. I don't want to waste that on her. I mean, if it's just her, whoever she is, I can probably take her. Hell Knights. Set out to slay a dragon. Having slain one, sees no reason to stop. So, so this isn't a player ghost. It's just a character they put in here. They made up and put in here, I guess. She sounds kind of tough. Mesmerize. I don't really like the sound of that. Unwilling to move away from the caster. I guess that doesn't sound so bad. I think I should be able to get her. Well, she's coming up. Let's do it. I blocked her attack. That's cool. Leave now and tell all of Marjorie's mercy. Marjorie? Is that what you call yourself? I guess Maggie's short for Marjorie. Is she mad that people call her Maggie when she wants them to call her Marjorie? I hit Maggie. I freeze Maggie. Maggie's lightly wounded. I headbutt Maggie. She practices a pose. I slash Maggie. I freeze Maggie. I headbutt Maggie. So that was two attacks from my sword because it lists the status effect that the axe, or my axe, because my axe does separately, which is kind of funny. Well, no, I guess it has to do that, doesn't it? And then the automatic headbutt riposte. And she's severely wounded. And then she practices a pose. Is that part of her spell casting and mumbling, or is that something else? She shot a bolt of fire at me. Now I lost some health, but not too bad. Hit me and did no damage. I slice Maggie. I freeze Maggie. You kill Maggie. Dodging skill increased. Halberd of Flaming. Not too interested in Halberd of Flaming. I keep hitting X or V instead of X to look around, because V is look around in some games. Steam Dragon Scales. Halberd of Flaming. Axe Blade was okay, yeah. So evoking is that's what you do with V. Is you can attack from just standing still. You don't have to hit a direction to move to attack. You can stand still and attack with V. Burns those it strikes, dealing additional fire damage, but it doesn't say how much the fire damage is, which is weird. Staple armaments of Hydra Hunters? Okay. If you say so. So it doesn't tell you how much the flame damage or fire damage is, which is strange. But I'm not particularly interested in halberds anyway. Steam Dragon Scales would decrease my AC by 9. A resistance to scalding steam. Extremely light and supple. That's cool, I guess. But Maggie was not too tough. There's this big... Oh, there's a Komodo dragon in the forest. That sounded ominous, but is probably not too bad. Enormous monitor lizard. Got some hit points. Swims quickly, okay. Bite for up to 34 damage. That seems like a lot. Let's try the throw function. No, wait. So, oh, there we go. What did it do at first there? Oh, throwing through plants probably won't work. All right, well, forget it. I guess let's just wait in there. It bites the plant. Why is it biting plants to get to me? Or is it just eating? What are you doing, Komodo dragon? He missed a plant. Or she, I don't know. It's just mowing down the plants. Is it, I guess it's coming for me. Yeah, it was. So it bit its way through the forest. Wow. Plant killing dragon. Lizard. Blades, short blades. Short blades is still going up. Oh, I see. I just hit a plant just trying to move through it, so you just can't move through them freely. Staircase to the lair. Ooh. Should we go to the lair? Of course we should. This is kind of a cool little thing. I'm glad the dragon killed the plants and not me, but then I accidentally killed one. Now I feel bad. But I'm not a follower of FedS, so he won't be mad. Whoa. Whoa, I haven't seen that before. So it just generated a dungeon on the fly, but it took a second to do it. Was that net lag, or was it just a particularly large dungeon or complex dungeon? So there's more Komodo dragons down here, and there's a bunch of yaks. Should I be worried about this? This looks a little dangerous. Staff of Air and a robe. I mean, I could go back up the stairway and see how many of them follow me. A yak. Common dungeon yak? Okay. Shaggy yak hair, yak horns. That doesn't sound too bad. And the Komodo dragon by itself wasn't bad, but let's go back up and see who wants to follow. Nobody? Uh-oh. Well, are they just going to be clustered around the entrance now? Yep. That's probably bad. Now we got a toad in here. Did they just call all their friends while I was gone? Gee. Well, that was obviously not a good move. They're too smart for me. They just waited here for me to come back down so they could all womp on me, which is about to happen. I have a wand of ice blast. I wonder if that has an area effect. Loud explosion of ice shards, particularly harming even creatures resistant to cold. Maybe that's why she had this, to ward off these creatures. Let's try it. I'm going to hit V. Wand of ice blast. Aiming. Oh yeah, so it has this area of effect. Now can I just pan this around? Yes. So probably what I would really want to do, oh no, I can't. Oh no, I can. Yeah, wow. Probably what I would want to do would be try to back away, but that's probably not going to work. And if I fire it here, I'm going to hit myself. That's not a great option from here. Well, nuts. How about the wand of paralysis? That does not have an area of effect. Well, I do have an axe, and that'll hit all these creatures when I take a swipe at somebody. Which do I think is more dangerous? A yak or a Komodo dragon? Oh, I did the wrong thing. It's because when you hit X to examine, then you move around and you pick a target with V. But V, if you're not in the X look around mode, V is your weapon evocation. I just keep getting confused. Hit points 38 for a yak, damage 18, up to 18 versus, oops, yeah, I should have stayed. Monitor lizard 44 hit points, up to 34 damage. So monitor lizard is probably way more dangerous. I mean, I could like freeze one of the lizards, but who knows how. Well, wait. Maybe slowed by cold attacks. So I do have an axe at freezing anyway. Well, I might as well just swing and hit. I hit the yak. I freeze the yak. I hit the Komodo dragon. That's all with one ice swing. Or axe swing. Freeze the Komodo dragon. You hit the yak. You freeze the yak. You slash the yak. You freeze the yak. Wow, so I froze 4 of them. And the other one gored me, I guess. And some others tried to hit me. This is a lot of monsters. Took a little damage overall. Man, the crowd control with this axe is kind of cool, though. Got in a headbutt. Oh, I took a lot of damage. Yeah, let's get out of here. Oh no, they followed me this time. Now I'm in trouble. Oh, and you know what? My my escape route, or my escape fallback plan was a scroll of teleportation, but I don't think that will warp me out immediately. Is it R for read? Yeah. I better try it anyway, because this is looking kind of bad. So I read it. I'm still getting beat up because it doesn't kick in immediately. Do I know which of the Komodo dragons is the one? Not that. It's the one that I looked at. Heavily wounded, moderately wounded. I'm going to slash the heavily wounded Komodo dragon. I hit a plant. No damage to a yak. I missed a yak. I hit a plant. No damage to the dragon? Komodo dragon. I froze a yak. That was not a great hit. Great swing. Froze a yak, slash a plant, froze a plant. I killed a yak, hit a Komodo dragon, froze a... Okay. That was better. Low hit point warning. Oh man, I'm down to 8 health. Yeah, it's too bad that teleport hasn't kicked in yet. Oh, I don't have a... Well, this is looking pretty bleak. Restores a small amount of health. Ah. Well, I got myself into a bad spot. Is it even worth it to try to take that potion? Like, how much damage did I just take in that last round? Was it probably more than 18 or so? Oh man, yeah, that didn't help at all. Down to 5. I got one of the dragons. I'm up to 6 health. Regeneration. Why? So, did my teleportation just fail or what? How many rounds does it take? I guess it's really not an escape measure. Read the scroll of teleportation. I felt strangely unstable. So in theory, the teleport will still kick in at some point. But it's been 5-ish rounds, and it hasn't kicked in. And I'm almost dead. So that was not a good fallback. There goes. Well, it kept it close. Oh, notice I have the TELE in blue status effect under my stats. That's teleporting, I guess. Wow. Okay, I'm going to hit 5 to try to heal. Hopefully no new monsters wherever I am. I'm way up northwest of where I was. Oops. Okay, don't hit random keys on the keyboard. That's not good. I'm way up north. Gonna hit 5, and that should auto rest until something comes along or until all my HP is back. I love how the health bar zips up. Okay, well, I survived. I didn't really deserve to, but I did. I ought to picked it up. Read a scroll of identify. Lumpy ruby potion. That does not sound appetizing. Potion of resistance. Is that to everything? Oh man, I filled up my screen with stuff. Temporary resistance to a variety of fire, cold, electricity, and poison, and acid. Well, that's cool. Whip. I guess I'll try to make my way. What do we have here? It's just some free money. I hope. I guess these things are all over this level. I feel like they're going to get me somehow. Potion of Heal Wounds, that could be handy. Oh, is this off the screen now? Oh, I didn't pick it up because I'd never seen one before. Pick it up. Not quite off the screen. Shift D. Causes wounds to close and heal almost instantly. Does it restore HP? That's kind of a key thing that I would like to know. Poison me. It's fine. So I'm hitting period to pass a turn for the creatures to come around the pillar so that I get a shot at them versus moving up around the pillar myself where they would get a shot at me, I think. Another amulet of regeneration? Jeez, these things are dime a dozen, I guess. Now I'm going to rest here to get rid of this poison. Okay. Rest again to get my HP. Potions of resistance. Sweet. Amulet of regeneration, but that's probably just like the one I have. Yeah. And that thing... Oh, I can't even... Oh no, I'm not even in inspection mode. Fountain of sparkling water. I'm not really sure how fountains work. I found some fountains before. I think they were dried up fountains. And this fountain is walled off. This is just weird. What is all this about? Am I going to find out what these are about? Got some stones. All right, well, I've reconnected back to where I get that money, I guess. Oh, kobolds showed up. It was a trap. Come get me, punks. Oh, yeah? Okay, I'm going to come back here then. Kobold brigand. Headbutt the kobold. Yeah, get him. Oh, man, those guys just died like just water. Look at all the stuff they left. Gosh, poor kobolds. Staff of Death. Increases necromantic spells. If the wielder is skilled in evocations and necromancy, evocations, they can inflict great pain on those living souls they strike, dealing negative energy damage. And then a big poem from Osborne Bergen. Okay. Rapier, stairway down, chainmail. All right, let's stop going down here. Let's go back around places we know. Oh, that was weird. All these weird translucent thingies. I mean, I'm feeling confident that I can. I guess I'm feeling confident that I can deal with these guys. If oh, they came after me. A yak wandered up here. I wonder if no, I couldn't have moved past them because it doesn't warp you. It's just all right. Well, yakety yak, I can handle one. No prob. It was really the Komodo dragons who were the more difficult problem. There's only one left. Weren't there more yaks? Oh, see, because my axe hits everything around me, it's accidentally hit that plant. I'm afraid we messed up some plants. So, did I kill all the others, or did they? Maybe I did kill all the others. Well, oh boy. Now we got a cane toad, we got a bear coming up, we got another dragon. Maybe I should read that teleport scroll right now. Nah, how bad could it be? Let's take out some yaks. Oh, the Komodo dragon got right on top of me. I took out some yaks. Yak it up. See, in theory, what I should be doing, though, is targeting the weaker creatures and just cutting down on the number of enemies that are pecking at me and just doing free hits on, or kind of free hitsies on me. I don't know. This Komodo dragon's taking its hits. Gosh dang it. Okay, got the bear. This dragon, man. Oh my gosh, I got down to 10 all of a sudden. What hit me? Shoot. And I still don't have a healing solution, so this was dumb. I should have left long ago. I don't know if this is going to do anything. I'm probably going to die. Oh no, it gave me a lot of health. Okay, well, this is the last chance. I got to kill this Komodo. I missed with my axe. I got it. You're dead, stupid yak. See, I should have taken out all the small guys first, probably. I mean, it was getting them slowly with the side damage. Yeah, I really need to get some healing stuff. I wonder what a potion of might does. Well, I should have drunk one of those before going in there. I didn't. I'm a fool. I'm a fool who shouldn't have survived that. I didn't expect there to be a whole gang right around. They're too smart for me. Or I'm too dumb. A black and a bone wand. Oh, that sounds fun. Sounds like something to take to parties. Staff of air, that's got to be for air elementalist types. Yeah, air spells. Wand of charming. What? I guess I picked it up. Creature to become fiercely but briefly loyal. That sounds risky. But life is risk, as they say. What's with these white plants? A fungus. A lumpy gray fungus. 200 hit points. But if struck, it will die soon after, so maybe you only have to hit it once anyway. It is mindless. It is tiny. Tiny with 200 hit points. Another dragon. This place is rough, man. Okay, dragon. As long as it's just you, I'm probably alright. In fact, I could be pelting you with stones or whatever. Moderately wounded. Severely wounded with 2 hand crossbow bolts? Well, oh yeah, these are freezing. It's a freezing crossbow. And it is vulnerable to cold being a reptile, I guess. Holy, oh no, it's still here. All right, switch back. Whack it. Well, that was easy. $23 bolts. Water moccasin, that shouldn't be tough. Scroll of amnesia is for forgetting spells. If you learned a spell accidentally or something, I guess you can remove it with a scroll of amnesia. I don't think I'll need a scroll of amnesia. This is a trap. An alarm trap. So I guess an enchantment making monsters all over the level aware of your location. Hostile monsters may trigger this trap themselves to invoke its effects against you. We Another +6 ring of strength. So I could wear that instead of my ring of see invisible, but I have a feeling the ring of see invisible. Oh wait, so the problem is I don't think this tells me anywhere what kind of damage bonus I get from a ring of like +6 strength. Let's try it, I guess. Shift F. Place the ring of see invisible. So now my strength is 34. That feels good, I guess. Oh boy, so I can wade through here. Oh, I could have just gone the easy way through the door. Oops, cane toads. That's not bad. I shouldn't have shot up there like that. I should be using shift to move more, but it sort of annoyed my hand doing that. Black Mamba water moccasin, no problem. Oh, it was a problem. What the heck hit me so bad? I have not been paying attention. I'm gonna get myself killed. Poisoned. Ugh. Nope. Dead. I got myself killed. What the heck ruined me so fast? Ah, level 11. Well, I guess it was just as well. I've probably been at this too long for one session. I just can't, I have this bad habit trying to play these roguelikes where I subconsciously don't want to, I just want to keep playing, and so then I just keep going, but I also don't want to keep playing a super long time. So instead of just being smart and saving and, stopping the session so I can come back later, I just play increasingly carelessly. I mean, I barely survived those encounters at the beginning of that area, and then I go and get killed by a couple snakes. I'm not sure what the heck hit me for all that damage, or was I just wounded by a couple things and didn't really notice it and let it build up? I didn't rest. I think there were just the 4 or so snakes in there that messed me up way more than I thought they could possibly have done, and I cavalierly was not paying attention to my health until it got that low. Did I miss a low HP warning? I might have missed one before I noticed. I keep doing, every session in any roguelike, this is what I've done basically. I've basically played until I do something extremely stupid because I subconsciously just want to end because it's late, and my only way of ending apparently is just I play until I die, and I hurry that along by playing more and more carelessly because I can't just make myself save the game and stop and come back later. I've got to play until I kill my poor character. So that's my problem with roguelikes right now, but I have fun while I'm playing, and I definitely found some cool stuff there. So next time I play Crawl, I will be starting from a new character. It will be a Minotaur Fighter, probably, because I last even less long with any other type I have tried, any other character type. And I just don't want to do all the additional button pressing you have to do with spells. Well, found a lot of interesting stuff. Hopefully, learned some things. The monsters are smarter than I had figured they were, and they would just wait around the entrance for me to come down. Or they all came up en masse, when I guess they figured they had a chance of taking me. I mean, it was nuts. They almost got me twice in a big mob, those yaks, and then I died to a couple snakes like a chump. That's a little frustrating. I feel really dumb. But I'll play it again. It wasn't the game, it was me being dumb. As long as as long as that's the case, I am not mad at the game. I'm a little mad at myself, but I guess this is also how I amuse myself, is finding new stupid ways to die. What was it that in Infra Arcana yesterday, I died by, I charged into a forest of mold to smash it with this big spiked mace I had, and then some snakes appeared behind me, just kind of a snaky ambush. And instead of backing away from the mold to tackle the snakes, I kept whacking on the mold, let the snakes surround me, and then I was just doomed. So, did I have a death wish at that point because I'd been playing for 2.5 hours? Probably. And that's probably about how long I've been going here. I haven't looked. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. I'm scared. I really need to start getting to bed earlier. But it's Thanksgiving, so that means you stay up late and play a dungeon crawler, doesn't it? I mean, that's my understanding of the holiday. What am I thankful for? I am thankful that I lasted as long as I did, because that is by far the longest I have managed to keep my undeserving self alive. I'm thankful for the people who work on games such as Crawl for no monetary reward. They're just doing it because they enjoy the exercise and being able to make a game, I suppose, and being able to keep people happy by making this game for them. People who run the server, same deal. So yeah, this SSH version is pretty darn leet, I gotta say. Very non-laggy, much smoother than the WebTiles, which were already fairly smooth for me. I mean, I couldn't really complain about lag with those. It's just a little occasional, jerk. But super smooth with the SSH. And yeah, Dungeon Crawl. I guess I didn't actually find a shop to show you, but the shops are just like little gift boutiques. They're not like, it's not like an Angband where you have to go to shops to get vital supplies constantly. That's not how the shops in Crawl work at all. They're just like little bonus gift boutiques where you can find cool stuff to spend that gold you keep finding all over the dungeon. You don't have to buy food, I guess. Apparently, Crawl did used to have a hunger system where you would go hungry and have to eat food once in a while, and they took it out. I haven't seen any food or any hunger messages. They removed that. You don't have to have a light source that you have to manage all the time like an Angband. It's just all this busy work or character mutilation that could happen to you in Angband does not happen in Crawl. They've very purposefully been not having that stuff or taking that stuff out, and I can only applaud all that stuff. You just have fun crawling around the dungeon, and I was enjoying that. What was it called? That place I was in at the end there? Was it a cave or whatever the heck it was? That was pretty cool. You really feel like you're going into different places in this game, which is cool. I don't necessarily enjoy starting out in the dungeon. The dungeon that you seem to always start in is very boring, I gotta say. And just the dungeon maps themselves are about the, well, they aren't the boringest layouts I guess you could have, but they're just lumpy and shapeless and pretty colorless. And maybe someday they'll, think about giving new players in more interesting first, you know, level type to explore. Just spruce up those dungeon levels somehow. Make them a little more colorful looking or something. I mean, of course, they look entirely different in WebTiles, in the graphical tiles version, which is how everybody plays. But I've looked at it in WebTiles, and I think we saw one briefly when I popped into that game to spectate to show some of the spectate features, and they still didn't look amazing. I don't know. Anyway, crawl's fun. I'm having fun with it. I'll be back. Maybe so during this Thanksgiving break, I think I can trying to manage to get a session in every day of a bonus roguelike episode on top of the fighting game episodes I record daily. Hopefully I can keep managing that and start getting some sleep, but we'll see about that. I'm alternating these bonus roguelike episodes. I'm alternating Crawl with Infra Arcana. So the next roguelike episode, probably tomorrow, will be Infra Arcana. And then if I can keep that up, then so today's Thanksgiving Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. So I may be back on Saturday evening recording another Crawl episode, which will then get posted on Sunday. That is what could happen, but I might not manage that, might not get one recorded and posted until Monday, or I'll have 2 days during the week next week where I'm only occupied kind of part of the day because it's these dental deep cleaning sessions. Anyway, it's kind of grim dental. Well, not grim. They're just it leaves your gums sore. But it's good. But I have 2 of those next week, so sort of part days. So I ought to be able to get in bonus roguelike sessions on 2 weekdays next week, too. So it's this little sort of mini Thanksgiving holiday season for me, as long as you can count a mini holiday season interspersed with 2 deep dental cleaning sessions. Fun times. Anyway, thanks for watching all this nonsense. I know I was going very slow here as I was just jabbering away about all this stuff in Crawl and the systems and the way it's different, and particularly that beginning about the messaging systems, which I suppose probably successfully kept anybody from watching any of the actual me playing the game that came afterwards, because I don't know who has sat through that stuff. But I find these sort of vestigial systems fascinating. I mean, the whole SSH, being able to play through SSH seems to be like a vestigial system, and I'm just amazed that they still support it. It's fantastic. So bravo Crawl server operators, bravo Crawl developers. The SSH is cool. I don't know if anybody still plays Crawl in SSH. If they queue. What was that about Robot Kitten? Robot finds kitten. What is that? Okay, robot finds kitten by the Esther blah blah. This game, you're a robot hashtag. Your job is to find the kitten. I don't know what's happening. Is this just a little game you could play while you wait? Ay. Well, I didn't read the instructions, so that was not. Hey, look, it's war. What is it good for? So it's just a little find it game. Yeah, I guess this is just something you do when you're tired of playing Crawl and you just want a little mental break. The kitten sink. So it's just a bunch of little silly jokes. Look at the version number on this. Is that a joke? Do they keep updating this incessantly? Now, see, I'm going to miss it, I bet. I'm going to have skipped it. Home Alone 2 jokes. Uh-oh. I guess I found the kitten. Well, that was weird. Okay. 14 people still playing this late at night on the West Coast. Balmetheus, Cynical Diogenes. These are grade A names. So unlike WebTiles, it doesn't tell you the level and character type of the player. Oh, most of these people are idle. So I guess they may not be playing, in fact. It's interesting. Only 4 of these 14 are playing in the trunk build. That's the GIT. The GIT is the source repository. So it's the build straight out of the source repository, basically the latest code. Most people are playing the latest full official release, which is 0.27. Somebody's playing 0.24, so obviously, well, probably there are changes since 0.24 that they just don't like, or maybe they've been playing that character since 0.24 and don't want to risk upgrading, even though upgrading has been supported forever. So it's probably they just like that version or prefer it. Anyhow, that's it for me tonight. Thanks for watching this. I will hopefully be back with another crawl session sometime soon. I bounced off this game when I first tried it. I was overwhelmed, basically. Since that time, I've looked through a bunch of different roguelikes, primarily Angband and Agband variants, and found that a lot of the stuff that I finally bounced off of Angband because of, i.e., well, I just went through all that stuff before. Anyway, Crawl specifically addresses and does not make those same, well, I can't say mistakes, but it doesn't do those things to you as a player or do them to your character. So I appreciate the kindness that Crawl shows in basically just showing you a good dungeon crawling time and not a lot of the hassles, the constant shopping and the constant grinding and stuff. You just get to go around a dungeon and have fun and then do something stupid because you're a bad roguelike player who has stayed up too late and subconsciously, instead of just saving and going to bed, gets a death wish and insists on playing until their character dies. I'll have to get over that at some point if I'm ever going to get anywhere in these games. But maybe I just secretly don't want to. I mean, I know I secretly don't want to because I have this thing against, I hate finishing a game or a book or anything I enjoy. I want it to last forever. I know that's not the point of roguelikes. They're randomly generated, so it's different each time. So I have to get over that. I'll probably get over it sometime. Maybe not, though. Maybe all of these sessions will be just play until dead sessions. And they'll just get increasingly absurd because I'll know more and I shouldn't be dying stupidly anymore, but I keep tricking myself into dying stupidly. But this was only my second official crawl session, so I can still claim to be a stupid noob, and I made an honest, stupid mistake. Mostly honest. I think, yeah, I mean, it does, I know that I start playing carelessly, and I think it is partly the getting late and just weird subconscious hang-up about not saving and coming back later. All right, well, I am going to leave and come back later now because it is extra late. Thanks for staying up, and well, that's all I got. Have a good night. Bye-bye.